San Antonio City Council today approved an updated plan for Project Marvel, the $4 billion plan to build a downtown sports and entertainment district. The approval now paves the way for a new Spurs arena to be funded in part with state tax dollars. And how about Derek White last night leading the Celtics past the New York Knicks? They live to play a Game 6. Tonight, Timberwolves, Thunder and Nuggets.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
My goodness, what a day it has been. Woo! Busy, lots of things happening all over the place today. Hi, everybody. Happy Thursday. This is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minix with the day off today. James Pledger is here, though. He is pushing all the buttons, playing the music, and doing the things that Pledge normally does. And we're happy to have you riding along with us on this busy Thursday afternoon. I tell you what, things breaking all over the place. And, of course, it is NFL schedule release day. It was last night. We've got all that to get into. We're going to do that today. But breaking just a few minutes ago, you heard it in SportsCenter if you were watching or listening, or both. The city council today voted to create a new project finance zone, which is a funding source connected to plans for a downtown NBA arena. Project Marvel and a new Spurs arena. Several questions remain about this, and I tell you what, I am not in much to this politics and how that works. So Matt Roy with News 4 San Antonio and Fox is going to join us later in the show to kind of explain it all, but I'll do the best that I can with the information that we have. I spoke with Matt a few minutes ago, and he was trying to explain all of this to me. Basically, what they're doing is they've created a zone that was already there for the Alamo Dome and the Convention Center, but they scrapped that and just made it one big zone to include a new arena for the Spurs. It's a way for them to use part of the tax dollars that they send to the state of Texas for this particular project. And that's kind of it in a synopsis, and it really basically paves the way for a new Spurs arena in a lot of ways without a vote by the citizens of San Antonio. That's the way I understand it. Matt Roy will be on with us, and I'm going to continue to read these things. That's what I've been doing since I got here today, just trying to figure out what this thing is going to do and how it's going to do it. It all comes from hotel-related state tax dollars within 3 miles of a qualified project. That's how they do it, and it's over a period of 28 years. And this would raise about $2.8 million, we're told, over that 30-year period or 28-year period. So a lot to take in here, but it looks like a new Spurs arena is certainly one step closer to being constructed and being done. We've got a long way to go, and we still have some things that we need to talk about and things that need to be done, including what the county is going to chip in, what any private equity is going to go into this, what the Spurs are going to do, who's going to own the arena. All of that kind of stuff is still to be there, but this is certainly a big step for the San Antonio Spurs in getting a new arena built in downtown San Antonio. By the way, this was voted on 9-0 by the city council, so it wasn't something that was, that some people disagreed with. It was a 9-0 vote. 2 people were absent today, the way I understand it. But it was a unanimous vote by the people that were there and that were voting. So if you know more about this, you want to talk about it, we're certainly waiting to do that or wanting to do that. You can do it. 656-3776, 656-ESPN. You can watch us and listen to us on YouTube if you'd like to do that. You can comment there as well. But this is a pretty exciting day if you're a Spurs fan and you were on board with the Spurs getting a new arena. I certainly was. I've made no qualms about that. I want this to happen, and I want the Spurs to stick around for a long, long time. And I think it's time for this city to kind of make its way into 2025 and get a new arena in the downtown area, and obviously the San Antonio City Council agrees with that. So we'll be talking a little bit more about that, and Matt Roy will come on and try and explain it. But I'll be honest with you, it was kind of like listening to a guy speaking Russian, and I'm trying to ask him questions. He knows what he's talking about, obviously. It's just getting that explanation. So it's going to be interesting to see. The thing that's interesting about this, it's almost like the current city council, as it's constructed right now, got this vote, put it on the table before the runoff election takes place, because there's going to be a new mayor. We all know that. Everybody's been talking about that. Plus, there's going to be some new city council folks. So a big step today. It's not over the way that I understand that completely, but it certainly is a big step, and we'll talk about that and get that as we move forward today. The other thing that came out of city council today that I thought was pretty interesting, District 8 Councilman Manny Pelez, he made a formal request today to rename the San Antonio Airport. I don't even know the San Antonio Airport was named to begin with. I thought it was just San Antonio Airport. Isn't that what it's called?
San Antonio International
Airport. Well, Councilman Pelez, his request today was to rename the airport after one Greg Popovich. He would like that to be called the Greg Popovich International Airport. Now, I don't know if that's going to have any legs or if that's going to go anywhere, but he did make a formal request today, the way I understand it. And so we'll have to see what happens there. How do you feel about that?
I mean, it makes sense.
It does?
Hobby, O'Hare,
right?
Dulles, but
they're not basketball coaches.
LaGuardia.
They're not. He's not a basketball coach either.
I understand.
Now, I could see saying, we'll at the new arena, the Greg Popovich floor, something like that. I could see that. I'm just not sure about the airport, and
why not?
Well, I guess
they flew out of there a lot.
I don't really care, but not out of the airport proper. They were in one of those swanky hangars on the side there. Where
maybe they're trying to rename the swanky part of it.
Maybe I don't know. But I thought that was pretty interesting, and I'd like to know what you guys think about that. And would you like to see the San Antonio Airport renamed after Greg Popovich? To me, that's an odd request just because it's the airport, and I'm not sure. I'm trying to make sense of that, but I can't right now. So if you want to comment on that, we can do that as well. You know the ways to do it. We got a lot to give away today. A lot of prizes. Nick Trey, our promotions guy, he's feeling really good these days, so we're going to do that. Plus, we're going to get another person qualified for the ACL Fest wristbands that we are going to be giving away to one lucky person tomorrow. But we need to qualify some more. We've got 3 people qualified, and we need to get a couple more before we actually give away those wristbands to the ACL Festival 2025. It's weekend number 2, October 10th through the 12th. 9 stages, 2 weekends. It's a big deal. But look, if you are qualified, you automatically get a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Fantastic place, maybe the best happy hour in town. I haven't seen any better. And the pizza's fantastic at the Mellow Mushroom. So if you get qualified, you're going to get that for sure. Whether you win the wristbands or not, well, we don't know yet. But you will not walk away empty-handed. That's for sure. So you will get that $50 gift card. The NFL schedule came out last night. Very interesting. Very interesting. Some of the videos that we saw last night. And I'm trying to pick winners and losers in what happened. I'm going to say that probably the Cowboys and the Texans are on the loser side, as far as I'm concerned. And there were some good ones. I thought the Buffalo Bills had a great one. I don't know if you guys watched this or you saw any of it. Buffalo had a good one. The Jacksonville Jaguars, though, might have won the night because they used Sabrina Carpenter and sexual positions as they announced their schedule. And whether you're a Jaguar fan or not, it doesn't really matter.
I called her up Caitlin.
Oh, that was creepy.
It's Sabrina.
I like
Sabrina. Sabrina Carpenter, by the way, will be at ACL Fest for the wristbands that one of you will walk away with and win. And the good part about that is you just never know if the girl's going to be dressed or not, or how scantily clad she will be dressed. That remains to be seen. But the Jaguars used her, and and it was very entertaining, I will say. So we'll get into that, too, when we get into the schedule and everything that's there. The Cowboys have a difficult schedule, especially the middle part of this thing, and it's going to be difficult for them all the way around. The Texans, I don't know. I think their schedule, for the most part, while there is some tough games on the schedule, they came out of this thing okay, I think. They're going to be all right, and I think they should certainly win their division. So we'll wait and see. And Christopher Summers on our YouTube page, dude, I am not hating on the Texas teams. Their PR people or social media people just sucked. I mean, I don't know what to say. Even Pledge agrees with me. I mean, and he's the biggest Houston Texan fan that I know. So I'm not picking on any Texan teams. I'm not at all. So, by the way, I just want to ask this question as we go, and I want to revert back to Sabrina Carpenter. What is it about Disney kids? These Disney kids just kind of go nuts, don't they? When they get out of the Disney thing, it's crazy. Crazy, but entertaining. That is certainly for sure. All right, we'll get into all of this. If you want to comment on what happened with City Council today, you happy about it? You're not happy about it? What you know about it, you can certainly educate me as much as I'm going to try and educate you on this thing. So we'll all educate each other, hopefully, as we get through this and get more information about it. And again, Matt Roy from News 4 San Antonio is going to join us at 5 o'clock, and he will give us a newsman's perspective of what's going on, and maybe everybody can understand a little bit better. In the meantime, though, we're going to talk about the Cowboys' schedule. It was released. I have given them what I think their record is going to be this year. And I went through the entire schedule and just kind of snapped it off really quick, and then I started to think about it and changed my mind a little bit. But I'm going to give you what I think about the Cowboys schedule. I'm also going to do the same thing with the Texans schedule, and you guys can agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, we can talk about it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Because, I'll just leave you with this. When we get the schedule, we look at who they're playing and what's going to happen. You just never know what might happen during the season to turn those fortunes around. You just don't know. So that's the problem that we have. We're going to take a break, but so happy you're here with us on this Thursday afternoon, right here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Well, one thing you don't have to think about or guess about or worry that they're going to do a good job or not, and that's my friends at Stevens Roofing. They're the absolute best in the business. They've been in business here in San Antonio, Central and South Texas for a long time. And look, they're not going anywhere. And that only tells you that they've got a long, long, long list of satisfied customers. They do the job right, and they take care of the people that trust in them. Stevens Roofing, a family-owned company, locally based company. And boy, I tell you what, whether it's storms this time of year, and we're not done with them, we can't be done with them, or the heat that is already pounding down on us, it can all take a toll on your roof. You want to make sure that your roof is in great shape, tip-top shape, and Stevens Roofing and Solar can make sure that it is. When you give them a call at 210-785-0994, they'll send a crew out. They'll give you a free, no-obligation roof inspection, and they'll let you know, hey, it might be time for a new roof. Or there's a little spot over there in the corner we need to fix, just a simple repair. Or they might give you that confirmation that your roof is in great shape. Either way, you're going to get the peace of mind that you need and make the decision that you need and go with the company that's going to do it right every single time, and that is Stevens Roofing. Give them a call. In fact, why don't you do it right now? The number to call, 210-785-0994.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is gearing up to send you to the Austin City Limits Music Festival. 9 stages, 2 weekends, and more big-time artists than at Texas Tailgates. October 3rd through the 5th, and again October 10th through the 12th in the live music capital of the world. We're talking Sabrina Carpenter, Hosier, Doja Cat, Luke Combs, The Strokes, John Summit, Doechii, Faith, and whole mess of other stars lighting up Zilker Park. Listen to the Morning Huddle and the Blitz this week for your chance to win a pair of 3 3-day wristbands to weekend 2. We're picking one winner on each show this Friday. And every qualifier scores a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom at 1604 and Stone Oak Parkway. Cold drinks, hot pizza, and ACL wristbands. That's a Texas-sized jackpot. Want to lock in your tickets now? Head to aclfest.com. All this week, it's ACL giveaways. Only on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Looking for a place with character, cold drinks, and real Texas charm? Pull up a chair at the Lion and Rose in the Dominion. This local favorite, run by the Tharp family, serves up Southern hospitality, military pride, and seriously good food. Happy hour daily from 3 till 7 p.m. with $2.50 drafts, select wine, wells, and mimosas. Plus, tasty bites from just $5. Big screens, bold flavors, and a patio made for post-game hangs. Now open at 23330 West I-10. The Lion and Rose.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/radio, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from IQ Bar. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at eatiqbar.com/policy/terms of service.
Most protein bars are packed with sugar, carbs, and unpronounceable ingredients. There's a much better option. I'm Will, and I crafted IQ Bar plant protein bars with clean, functional, delicious ingredients to empower doers like you with superior brain and body fuel.
Now you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping when you text EAT to 64,000. That's EAT to 64,000.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-499-9102. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-499-9102. That's 800-499-9102. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
At the Institute for Functional Health, we are dedicated to helping you live life fully, playing with your kids, golfing, and feeling great without relying on pills. We're not about treating symptoms temporarily. We're about extending your health span, the years you live in good health. I'm Dr. Torres, and for over a decade, my team has transformed lives by tackling health issues at the root. Tired of medications without real answers? Take control of your health with us. Call 210-468-1891 for a free Discovery Day consultation or visit IFFhealth.com. Improve your health span today.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation.
Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row.
Groundworks is the official foundation repair company of Texas Athletics. Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
I'm getting all tangled up here, Pledge, with this thing, man. It's like my headphones or whatever you call these things.
What are you doing in the breaks?
I don't know, but it's all twisted up.
Like, what did you do?
Holy cow. I think the thing's got a mind of its own. It's trying to choke me. It's like, I've had enough of you, Joe. That's it.
I mean,
wow. That's all tangled up and choking me. I'm like, what's going on around here, man? I just don't get it.
it's trying to hit you with the Sabrina Carpenter move.
Woo. Sabrina. Shiny. To say the least. And you guys, even girls know what I'm talking about. You know what else was pretty shiny was the schedule release of the NFL last night. And all the little social media posts and all that kind of stuff. But let's start out with the Dallas Cowboys because, well, when you look at their schedule, it's a brutal schedule. I don't think there's any question about it. And I don't know how to couch it any other way. The Cowboys are going to have to play some ball this year. There's no question about it. They're going to have to, especially that middle portion of their schedule. It's going to get really tough. The only good news is they've got a lot of those games at home. So that's going to be good. But when you look at their schedule, obviously we knew they're going to play the Philadelphia Eagles to kick off the NFL season. And they're going to do that on Thursday night, the first Thursday night game, September the 4th. And they've got some big games to look at as well. or Thanksgiving Day versus the Chiefs. They've got the Lions in Detroit on December 4th, Christmas Day at Washington, the Commandskins. And so just those games alone are going to be very, very difficult, to say the least. The Cowboys, as I look at this, and I went through the schedule, and I would like for all of y'all to do the same thing because they open up against the Eagles. That's a loss. I'm going to say they're going to lose that game. Then you go to the New York Giants at home. After that, I think that's a win. So they're 1-1. Here's where I began to struggle a little bit. And because after that, they go to Chicago to take on the Bears. Now, I'm not sure how the Bears are going to be, especially in when you're looking at week 3 with a brand new head coach in Ben Johnson. They've made some improvements to that team. I fully expect them to be a little better. So I was really kind of thinking about that game, and it could go either way. So, you know, me being the Dallas homer that I am, I gave the Cowboys that game, 2-1. All right, then they've got the Green Bay Packers at home on Sunday Night Football after that. Now, considering that the Green Bay Packers own the Dallas Cowboys, I figure that Green Bay probably wins that game. So that makes the Cowboys, 2-3 at that point in time? They get a couple of wins on the road. They're going to beat the Jets. They'll beat the Carolina Panthers. All right, so that makes them 4-3. Then they've got the Washington Commandskins in Dallas. After that, they'll win that game. I really believe that they're going to beat the Commanders on October the 19th, so that gives us a 5-3 record if my math is correct. Then they have to go play at Denver. That's going to be a difficult game for them. I'm going to give Denver that one. That makes 5-4 for the Dallas Cowboys. Arizona Cardinals, when they get back, I believe that they'll win that game. Makes it a 6-4 record for the Cowboys. They've got a bye week November the 9th. They won't play. Then they go to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders in a Monday night game there. I believe they'll beat the Raiders. So what is that, 7-4? I'm not sure where I'm at, Pledge. I'm losing everything there. They've got the Philadelphia Eagles at home after that on November the 23rd. Eagles are the class of the NFC East, but there's something about that division where they all split against each other. So I'm going to give the Cowboys that one. I think that's 8-4, Pledge, if my math is correct. Kansas City Chiefs come in after that on Thanksgiving Day. I'm going with Mahomes and the Chiefs on that. They're already a big favorite. So that makes it 8-5, if my math is correct. They travel to Detroit to take on the Lions the following Thursday on Prime. The Lions whack them there. So that makes an 8-6 record at that point in time. They come home to face the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to give the Cowboys that game, 9-6. Chargers after that, that's another very difficult one to deal with. And while I gave the Cowboys the Bears game, I'm not going to give them the Chargers game. So 8-7. Is that right? 8-7? Or
wow.
I do give them. I'm sorry. I do give them the Chargers game.
I was about to say.
So they're 9-6 still at this point in time. Then they travel to Washington. They lose that one. They're 9-8. Then they go to the Giants and beat the Giants. Is that right? 10-7. My math. So I've got them at 10-7. However that works out, I've got the Cowboys finishing the season at 10-7. Now, whether that's good enough to make the playoffs or not remains to be seen. But
now, do you put any stock into this? That Commanders game on a short week, on Christmas Day,
right?
The week before, they have to play the Eagles, and that is a TBD game. So you don't know if that's a Sunday night game on a short week against the Dallas Cowboys, but the Eagles may beat them up a little bit before they even get to that game on Christmas Day.
That's very possible, but I figure by that day, Dak's probably going to be out. He'll probably be injured. They'll have about 5 or 6 more guys that are on the IR, and no, I don't wish.
I love you, Dak.
I don't wish any injuries on anybody. I don't want to see any of that kind of stuff. But look, you got to take that into consideration because
I look at schedules like that because I'm like, who'd you play the week before? How beat up are you going into these games? What's the stretch that you're enduring?
Well, I get that, but it's really a ridiculous exercise when you look at it. Because we're looking at all these teams, and when we go into that first game against Philadelphia, everybody's healthy. Everybody's healthy, but I don't care if you're the Eagles, the Giants, the Bears, or the Cowboys. You're going to have some injuries to deal with. Everybody does, and it's a matter of how you get over that and how you do. So when you get to those later games in the season, I can sit here right now and say, well, I think they're going to win, or this is going to win, or this is going to happen, and that's going to happen. And then things turn all the way around. I'm giving the Cowboys 10 wins this year.
I like it.
And I think that's
fair.
I think it's fair. And so the fact of the matter is these guys have 6 primetime games. I'm talking about the Cowboys. So anybody wants to tell you they're still not America's team is just silly because they are. And the TV networks request them. 6 primetime games for the Dallas Cowboys. They're only second to the poster boy, Patrick Mahomes, and the Kansas City Chiefs. They have 7 primetime games. So the Dallas Cowboys are still America's team, or Jerry Jones is running the NFL. Either way, they've got a lot of primetime games.
That Thanksgiving Day game's going to be nuts.
It's going to be nuts, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But Stephen Jones talked today, and we got his reaction to the schedule as it came out.
The plus side of that is they're at home, a lot of them, and I love it for our fans that we're going to get to see us compete. We got to play the games. The schedule is the schedule, and like I said, I'm glad a lot of those happen to be right here for our fans to enjoy those. And certainly we've got some challenges early going on the road, quite a bit. 5 of our first 8 are on the road, but like you said, we've got a spicy schedule at the end when you say, hey, what you compare to last year's playoff teams, we have a big run there playing a lot of playoff teams. So we look forward to that, and Shotty's fired up about the schedule, and we're ready to go.
I think everybody's ready to go. I'm ready to go. I wish the season was starting tomorrow. Unfortunately, it's not. But it's kind of cool to see these and see how things play out. And I think overall, though, the Cowboys have a tough schedule. And Pledge, if they do finish 10-7, I think they'd have to say that is a very successful season. Because we got to look at this. We don't know how everything's going to mesh with what the Cowboys have done. I mean, we look at it, and on paper, the Cowboys made a lot of improvements to that offense specifically. So, yeah, especially George Pickens. And Steven was asked about that, and he was asked about his new look offense.
Oh, I just think he brings, when you break the huddle, you always want them, you want weapons. And certainly, I saw something where, CD and George, I think if you put their stats together, I think they may be the 2 most productive guys over the last 2 years, on one team. So certainly, we were needing that. And, you bring, the juice of a blue, that we drafted there. That's why we picked him. I mean, you see a lot of times a 4-4 out beside a guy's name, and you turn on the tape, you say, where is it? His is the opposite. He should have ran a 4-3 when you turn on the tape. And, but anyway, we just really, and then, of course, beefing up that offensive line for Dak and giving him the time, and also, giving juice to the run game. When you had a guy like Booker, I just think the offseason really came together good for us, and we feel really good about our football team, not to mention saw Sam Williams running around out there yesterday at the golf tournament, and he looks ready to go. And you start to look at all the guys we're going to get back that didn't actually play last year. It's a good feeling.
That's a good feeling. You hope you get those guys back, and if you do, well, that's even better.
I got a question for you.
Sure.
Because you loved to say this all last year. All last year. CJ's going to take a step back. Teams are going to adjust.
And he did.
He did.
So what are you saying? Jaden Daniels going to be the same?
Do you feel the same way about Jaden Daniels?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I do. But I still think the Command Skins did enough that they've got a pretty good team. And I think the addition of Deebo Samuel was huge because they can use him, obviously, the way San Francisco used him. He can run the football out of the backfield, and I think that's going to help. But, yeah, look, it's just kind of natural for a guy in his second year. Defensive coordinators are pretty smart. And C.J. Stroud saw that. I expect C.J. Stroud to bounce back and have a good year this year. But Jaden Daniels, I could see him struggling a little bit. You could say the same for a Bo Nix, maybe even a Drake May. So, I mean, I think you put all those guys in the same boat, and they have to adjust, and the great ones do. The great ones do. The guys that go on to be stars adjust, and they get over the new obstacles in their way. And I think Jaden Daniels will do that. And all the guys I just mentioned, I think they'll do that. So it's
just making sure. It was a very loud talking point last year, and I hadn't heard anything about that when it came to Jaden Daniels.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that.
I'm just making sure.
We'll get into that. Look, I still think Philadelphia's the class of the NFC East. I don't think there's any question, and it's hard. It's hard for me to say otherwise. Washington's going to be good, and I think the Giants are going to be better. And I'm not saying they're going to set the world on fire, but I think they do have a quarterback, and if Russell Wilson does anything, they got a pretty good wide receiver over there, and they've upgraded their offensive line. So I think the Giants won't be the pushover they were last year.
Do you have any concerns with the Philadelphia Eagles, despite their roster, with the loss of Kellen Moore and changing coordinators again? Because they took a massive step back the last time they lost their coordinators.
That's always a concern, isn't it? It's always a concern. You got to say the same thing about the Detroit Lions. I mean, they lost Ben Johnson, who was a pretty big cog in that offensive machine.
And it's been since like 2002 or 2004 since anybody's repeated in this division.
Sure. So, we'll see. And I think Dallas is going to be much better. I don't think there's any question about it. Dallas is going to be better. And the pieces that they've added, if they stay healthy. And you can't say that that's not a concern, because it is. And Prescott now with 2 bad legs, I'm just saying, it is a concern. But at this point in time, everybody's healthy, and everybody's going to be healthy come September the 4th. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. It's just some of these games that the Cowboys have. At the Lions will be tough. At the Commanders on Christmas Day is not going to be a pushover. The Chiefs on Thanksgiving Day. And by the way, have you seen the ticket prices? Anybody want to go to that Chiefs game? Holy cow. It's unbelievable the amount of money that they are getting for tickets to that Chiefs game. I know you sent it to me, Pledge, but it's like a good seat, lower level, is going to cost you about $2,000.
Yep.
About $2,000. Now, I don't know about y'all. I love going to football games.
High seats are like $700.
Exactly. Just getting in the building is going to be expensive. I'm going to sit at Grandma's house and stuff my face and drink my beer, and I'll have a great seat right there.
I thought you knew a guy. I thought you were just going to be there.
I do know a guy, and I'll probably go to some games, but not that one. Although I'd love to go to that one, but that's going to be a little too rich for my blood. That's for sure. Well, that's how the Cowboys shake out. What about the Texans? Well, we'll talk about that when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Friday on the Morning Huddle. The Preakness is tomorrow. We're joined by an expert. Dick Girardi gets here at 8:45.
And were the Thunder able to finish off the Nuggies? We'll talk about that and the Eastern Conference playoffs. Plenty more to discuss. Morning Huddle, don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the GPS directions first, before driving to the mall.
Turn right at the light. In 1,000 miles, you will reach Montreal.
Not Montreal, the mall.
Recalculating. 6,000 miles to Nepal.
No, the mall.
Checking first is smart.
Recalculating.
So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
If you need to hire, you know it takes time. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You simply pick a time and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day.
Try Zip Intro for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV, RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the lake or clean out your closet?
RV wins!
Putting the dishes away or taking the RV camping?
RV wins!
Cleaning the fridge or taking a trip to the beach?
RV wins!
You might want to clean the fridge real quick because, mold.
We clean out the fridge, then take the RV out.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
Hey, San Antonio. Multiple tours overseas, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training toward our low-cost degree and certificate programs. We call that credit where credit is due. For over 75 years, our dedicated success coaches have been helping service members achieve their goals. Get started with local support and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Most people in radio commercials talk really fast. But we made this one for RV owners. Progressive knows they like the slower pace of RV life, like this commercial. And they know Progressive will protect their RV at a fair price with discounts. Now here comes the fast part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Oh, happy Thursday, everybody. So happy to have you along on this Thursday afternoon. Another gorgeous day in San Antonio. Love it. I'm Joe Reinagle. Jason Minix, he's got the day off. James Pledger is here, though, producing this fine show. We appreciate him. Big news today, obviously, coming from the city council. And I know you've seen it. A lot of people have talked about it. Our good friend Matt Roy is going to join us at 5 o'clock from News 4 San Antonio and KABB. He is going to probably explain this a lot better than I can, but he just sent us a text. And he said, basically, the vote Thursday to create a new project finance zone allows the city to use state tax dollars to help pay for the arena. The arena has been added as a qualified project so it can receive funding. So what's confusing to me, and maybe it's just me and everybody else has got this all in their head and knows exactly what's going on, it sounds like this has been a huge hurdle for the Spurs to jump over. I mean, an enormous hurdle, because it looks like from what happened today that the Spurs arena at least is going to, it's going to get built, right? I know there's some other things that you got to go on. It's not a done deal by any stretch of the imagination, but we'll talk to Matt Roy coming up at 5 o'clock, and he'll give us some more info on that. I tell you, a lot of things happen at City Council. We'll get back into it because one councilman wants to change the name of the airport to Greg Popovich Airport. So we'll talk about that. If you've got some comments on that, we certainly invite you to call. And I know Sam was hanging on the line to do that when we got into the Cowboys schedule, but we will get back to that for sure because I want to hear your comments on that. For me, I don't know. For me, it just doesn't fit, but we'll talk about it, and maybe you guys can change my mind. 656-3776 is the number, 656-ESPN. We do still have the ACL Festival 2025. We're going to get somebody qualified for that. We'll do that during the 5 o'clock hour. And I guess that keyword has worked out pretty well, hasn't it? It really hasn't been too bad. So here's what I'm going to do. And I saw this earlier on on our YouTube page, and it was way back. And I don't know if I said the word kerfuffle. Did I say that, Pledge? I'm not sure that I did, but somebody thought I did. And so kerfuffle is your keyword. Kerfuffle, all right? That's the one. So remember that. I'm not going to spell it for you because I have no clue how to spell that, but you don't have to spell it. All you have to do is say it. So when I give you the go during the 5 o'clock hour, then you call up Pledge at 656-3776, 656-ESPN, and if you're the first one to say kerfuffle, then you are going to be qualified to win a couple of wristbands to the ACL Live second weekend. All right, so that's how we're going to do that. In the meantime, we've got some other things to give away as well. Leonid and Friends tickets we're going to give away, and a 4-pack of Missions versus Wichita on May the 20th, which is coming up. As a matter of fact, Pledge, I'm feeling kind of generous right now, brother. Why don't we give away some Leonid and Friends tickets? We'll do that right now to caller number 9, 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Caller number 9 is going to walk away with a pair of tickets to the Leonid and Friends. All right? Now, I've been told they are like a Chicago cover band. They are here. It's called the Leonid and Friends 2025 or 6 to 4 tour. October 10th at the Aztec Theater. If you don't win tickets, you can certainly get your tickets at livenation.com. It's at the Aztec Theater, and that'll be a fun thing to do. So there you go. Caller number 9, Pledge, is going to get that. Let's take a look at the Texans schedule, shall we? It was released. It was the NFL schedule release day yesterday, which was a lot of fun. And I will tell you this, I've got the Texans going 11-6 this year. I think their schedule is somewhat favorable, although they do have some tough games in here. They're going to start out on the road at the LA Rams. And sorry, Texan fans, but you're going to lose that game. So you start out 0-1. You come home against Tampa Bay, I think you get to 500. You're 1-1. Jacksonville, you'll win that game, 2-1. Titans after that at home, you'll win that game as well, 3-1. Ooh, then you got to travel to see, the Baltimore Ravens. That's a loss. What is that, 3-2? I don't know. You're going to have to help me keep count, Pledge. I know you're answering the phone, but that's okay. Then they got a bye week. The Texans have an early bye week, week number 6. I don't know if that's good or bad. I think if I was a football team, I'd rather have that around 10 or 11 to rest and finish the stretch. Well, then you've got Seattle coming up after that, at Seattle. How is Sam Darnold going to do as the quarterback at Seattle? I think that's a tough place to win, so I think the Texans lose that game. Then they've got Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers coming in Week 8. That would be a October 26th game. Difficult game, but I think the Texans pull that one out. Denver comes in after that. I think the Texans win that as well. Jacksonville comes in. So the Texans have 3 games in a row at home. They're going to win all 3 of those games. They travel to Tennessee. I fully expect them to win that game. So they're looking good at this point in time. Then in Week 12, a big matchup, and I've already seen or heard Pledge say he'll be at this game. The Buffalo Bills, as in Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills come into town Week 12. That's going to be a tough one. A lot of people, including Joe Buck, picking the Buffalo Bills to win the Super Bowl this year, which is going to be which, again, is tough. But, you make your picks and you feel it. I think Buffalo's going to be improved this year. Week 13, the Texans go to Indianapolis. They should win that. They still don't have a quarterback in Indianapolis. So I think that's a win for the Texans. But then they have to go see Mr. Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs Week 14, and I think they'll get beat there. Arizona Cardinals, that's such I think the Cardinals' defense is going to be much improved. But it all stems on Kyler Murray, doesn't it? Is this guy finally going to turn into the quarterback we all want him to be or thought that he could be? Not sure, so I'm going to have to give that one to the Texans just because it's at home. You get the Las Vegas Raiders at home. That should be a win. But then you have to travel out to Los Angeles to battle the Chargers. When I talk about the L.A. Chargers, it's interesting, and I had the same problem because they're playing the Cowboys too. But I had the same problem because I don't know what Jim Harbaugh is going to make out of this team in year 2. I think they're going to be much better running the football. They're going to try to be a power football team because that's what Jim Harbaugh likes to do. He did it at Michigan, and I think he wants to do the same thing with the Chargers. So how is that working out? And is that helping Justin Herbert be a better quarterback? I think if it works, certainly it helps him be a better quarterback.
Remember, they drafted Amari in Hampton, too.
They did. So that's going to be an interesting team to watch this year, I think, the L.A. Chargers. A very interesting team to watch. So I think on the road, the Texans probably lose that game, and they finish out things at home against the Indianapolis Colts. You wrap all of that up, 11-6 is what I have the Texans going. They'll win their division just because they'll win it by default. I mean, you really don't have much competition there.
Well,
you're going to beat the Titans twice.
You already differ from Bleacher Report, who has the Jags winning the division.
Really? Well, I think people have been picking the Jags to win that division for as long as Trevor Lawrence has been there.
Well, they got Travis Hunter now.
Well, okay. So, the hardest part about that is going to figure out how you're going to use that guy. I still have a hard time believing that you can use him both ways on a full-time basis.
He's a receiver I mix in and nickel and dime packages when I can.
Right, something like that, because the problem is, and I've heard a lot of people talk about this, and it makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. The meetings, the preparation meetings. So where does he go? Does he go to the offensive meetings or the defensive meetings? I mean, you can't have them. They're going to have them both at the same time, and where's he going to be? And that's going to be the biggest problem is the preparation that he's going to have to face. So I think you're right. I think, to me, you play him at wide receiver, and there'll be some opportunities defensively that you can put him in there. So we'll see. That's going to be fun to watch, though.
I'm very intrigued by 2 things with the Texans this year. First thing is that defense. My goodness. You got Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, the way that they made great quarterbacks not named Lamar Jackson look extremely average with that pass rush last year, and it's only gotten better with the addition of Sheldon Rankins in the middle. And that secondary with Kamari Lassiter, Jalen Petrie, and Derek Stingley. And remember, when they traded away Kenyon Green, they added Chauncey Gardner-Johnson to that back end.
That was huge. To me,
with Kalen Bullock and Jimmy Ward. Like that.
Good player.
Man, that secondary is going to be so incredibly good.
Well, Pledge, you're the Texans authority around these parts. What, 11 wins? Is that fair? Or do you think it's going to be better than that?
They've got a very tough schedule. There are a lot of good teams on that schedule. I expect San Francisco to be better this year. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how they finish. And to me, it all comes down to Nick Caley. They put all of the blame on Bobby Slowick with the offensive line and the protection and how he handled it.
Sure.
Now, Nick Caley bringing in a whole new system. He says that they're going to do what they're best at. He's not going to force people to do what they're bad at. And that's going to be a start. You've got a whole new offensive line that you're dealing with. And
that's going to be the mystery.
And CJ Stroud is going to have control at the line of scrimmage for the first time since he was at Ohio State. So if that offensive line can even take a step into the middle, they were one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL last year.
Yeah.
If they can even get up into the 15 range in terms of protection and running the football, that's going to be a very dangerous team because of how good that defense is.
Going to be still the question mark's going to be the offensive line. I know they've revamped it, but is it going to be any better than it was? It's got to be better than it was. It was horrible last year. It was awful. So it's got to be a little bit better than it was. So, but that's still the mystery, I think, or one of them for the Houston Texans. So we'll see how that plays out. But I thought 11 wins is fair for the Texans, and I think they win that division. Will Jacksonville be better? Maybe. Dude, I'll be honest with you. I'm not sold on Trevor Lawrence. I mean, the guy, and I know he's had like 3 coaches and different coordinators, and that's not fair to him. And maybe it's taken him a while, but he certainly hasn't lived up to the what we thought he would live up to when he came out of Clemson and went to Jacksonville. So he's got to step up his game a little bit too, but he needs some stability as well. So that's the problem with him. Will they be better? I don't know. Maybe. He's got to be better, and a lot of things need to shake out. Certainly Travis Hunter's going to add some excitement, and I want to watch the Jaguars because I want to see what they do with that kid. So at least game 1 or 2 or 3, I want to see what they do with him.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence has been pretty Teflon throughout his career. Him and Justin Herbert. For the lack of success both of those quarterbacks have had, the amount of money that they are making.
Oh.
They've been Teflon when it comes to criticism.
Sure, they have, and they should be criticized. And I'm criticizing Lawrence right now. No, I am, because I wouldn't take him. I'll give you something. Here, this will blow your mind. I'd rather have Dak Prescott.
I was wondering. I was actually going to ask you, who would you rather have, Dak Prescott or?
There you go. Now, look, Justin Herbert's another story. I think Herbert just needs some. He's one of those guys, like a Prescott, like a Lawrence. You've got to have some guys around you. You got to have some guys. And if they establish a running game for Justin Herbert, I think you'll see the best out of him.
I thought they had a pretty good running game last year with J.K. Dobbins.
New coach. Let him put his stamp on that team. I think it's gonna be Michigan West once he's all done with it.
Oh, yeah.
What's gonna happen? So
I'll tell you, the guy to watch in training camp for the Texans, guy they took out of Michigan actually last year in the 6th, 7th round, Ladarius Henderson. His name's been brought up a lot this offseason. He's an interior guard, and I think those positions are up for grab on that Houston line.
He's from Michigan, though. They don't do well in the NFL.
That's only in Dallas.
Oh, that's right. Only in Dallas. That's true. Just some tidbits from the schedule release, right? Just some tidbits. The Titans, the Saints, and the Browns have 0 primetime games scheduled.
Good.
This year. Jacksonville only has 1.
Good.
They only have 1. And you wouldn't call that prime time. They do play in London again, which is basically their home field. But I guess you won't consider that a primetime game. But it's interesting that those teams don't.
I am happy with that. I don't like every team gets a representative for an all-star game. You don't deserve it.
I'm okay with that, too. But I think Cam Ward, and now so the Titans play the Browns this year.
They could be flexed in late,
It's late in the season. And everybody's already saying Cam Ward against Shedeur Sanders. Well, that may or may not happen depending on Shedeur Sanders and what the Browns decide to do and who's playing well. So we speculate quite a bit. The Jaguars, though, did win the social media round last night.
They were top 3.
I think they won, in my mind.
Of course you do.
They used Sabrina Carpenter and all of her sexual antics on stage as they announced that. So nobody really gave a damn about who they're playing. They're just watching Carpenter up there doing all her bends and twerks and.
I mean, you can do that on your own. Like, you don't need a schedule release to be able to look that up.
It's an excuse. Pledge, it was research. It was research. I had to watch. I didn't have a choice. I had to watch. So, I mean, I got to come in here and talk about it today. And so I had to watch. I didn't want to watch it, but I had to.
You didn't want to?
No, I didn't want to watch it. Come on. Did not want to watch it, Pledge.
I thought both LA teams did extremely well. I thought the Chargers, whoever their social media people are, like they don't make enough money. They are fantastic.
There were some good
Every year
ones.
they win.
Yeah, there were some good ones.
And the Rams with Brenda Song doing like an update on the schedule reveal from a sports desk was beautiful.
Well, and the Buffalo Bills, you got to throw them in there too, because that was genius.
Inspired by AI.
The AI, and the general manager doesn't know what AI is. Thought it was Allen Iverson. And Iverson appears, and he says, "What the hell am I doing here?" Well, you're the only AI I know. I thought that was good. You know, for us old guys, I thought that was genius.
I enjoyed it.
It was a fun night when you look at that, and a big night, another big night for the NFL. There's no doubt about that.
No, she didn't say anything about the Cowboys in that.
Oh, they sucked. Their social media in Houston wasn't much better.
It wasn't great.
No, it wasn't that great. So there were some winners, there were some losers, but we'll see what happens. The schedule is out. We know where everybody's playing. You can make your plans and for your parties or your tickets or whatever you want to do. And now we know. So it's going to be a fun season. I can't wait. Cowboys have OTAs next week, and I'm looking forward to that because we'll get to start seeing this, and you'll see teams doing that throughout the month of May and even into the month of June. And then they'll take that month off before everybody reports to training camp. So a lot of football to talk about NFL-wise coming up. There's even some football to talk about college-wise. The folks at Ohio State, actually one of their representatives in Ohio is suing Fox because they don't want to play at noon. Could affect the start time for the Texas-Ohio State game to kick off the season. We'll tell you about that when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Riding 281 with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
The Lion and Rose at the Dominion, your daily happy hour spot from 3 till 7 p.m. 250 drafts, wine, wells, and bites from just $5. Big screens, bold flavors, and a patio made for post-game hangs. Lion and Rose at 23330 West I-10.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See with the full details and disclaimer.
Here in San Antonio in the Hill Country, our water is hard. It's harsh like some accents.
Hey, what's the matter with you?
Now that's harsh. At the same time, those that know have a Connecticut quality water softener and enjoy smooth, soft, pure, clean water like this.
Tú eres mi luz en la oscuridad.
Hard, harsh water.
Hey, use with the face.
Soft water.
El amor es como el agua que nunca se seca.
If you don't have a Connecticut water softener, you're basically inviting hard water into your home to beat up your appliances, hot water heater, and every pipe in your home. And if you can't live without your coffee maker, hard water damages it too. Call me for a free in-home water evaluation at 656 Pure.
For a limited time, get a free reverse osmosis drinking station, $400 off a trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months. Call Connecticut of San Antonio in the Hill Country, 210-656-PURE.
Connecticut is simply the best water softener you can buy, And that's why we say it's the last water softener you'll ever own.
License number 38961.
George gets justice. The accident wasn't your fault, but now you're facing pain, bills, and uncertainty. You don't have to do it alone. At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, they listen, explain your options, and fight for what you deserve. No upfront costs, no stress, just real help when you need it. If you've been injured, it's time to get George. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Guys, starting TRT has never been easier. Other places charge hundreds of dollars just for the test. But visit any Synergenics or Low T center and get the consultation and test totally free. Treatment is personalized to you, and most major insurance is accepted. With the freedom to choose if you want in-center care or at-home treatment, you're in control of your health. Looking to lose weight? Get a free B12 shot when you start prescription treatment. Offer limited. Book now at fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-499-9102. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-499-9102. That's 800-499-9102. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here with my good friends from Prize Picks. I'm just one of millions of members of Prize Picks that play daily fantasy sports every day, and things just keep getting better. How about 2,000x on your cash today? That's right, cash in on the basketball playoffs with Prize Picks. Don't miss your best chance to add your favorite players from the court on Prize Picks lineup. And whether it's points, rebounds, assists, and whatever else, take your pick, more or less, for your shot to win up to 2,000x your cash today. Turn up your playoff hot takes into tickets on basketball and championship winnings every day. And there's stuff going on all week. Every Tuesday, Prize Picks will discount several projections on the board. They take up to 15 to 25% off savings and fun. And then there's Big Flex Friday. Those picks that don't win, you get your net losses back in promo funds up to your limit as soon as the lineup settles. Hey, there's money back. That's why I love Prize Picks. 2,000 times your money and some free ones. Download Prize Picks. Use the code Alamo for 50 free bucks. That's Prize Picks. Go run your game.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the San Antonio City Council today approved an updated plan for Project Marvel, the $4 billion plan to build a downtown sports and entertainment district. Approval now paves the way for a new Spurs arena to be funded in part with state tax dollars. We're talking about it here on the Blitz. We got some basketball tonight. Timberwolves closed out the Golden State Warriors, punching their ticket to the West Finals. They await the winner of the Thunder Nuggets. It starts tonight at 7.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Happy Thursday, everybody. It is Thursday, right? In one of those weeks, right? A lot going on. That's the beauty of it. A lot going on today. News breaking early today. This is the Blitz, though, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minix has the day off. James Pledger is producing the show, and boy, I tell you what, James and I were hopping right before the show, trying to get stuff on and get some folks booked and get all that kind of stuff going on. So, but we made it. We made it because it was the San Antonio City Council that kind of got us shaken because they voted today, this morning, to create a new project finance zone, which is a funding source connected to plans for a new Spurs arena. Several lingering questions, however, according to KSAT, remain about the full plan to pay for a new home for the Spurs. It's estimated to cost at $1.5 billion. And then our good friend Matt Roy, who will join us at 5 o'clock to talk about this a little bit. The vote today to create a new project finance zone, he tells us, will allow the city to use state tax dollars to help pay for the arena. The arena has been added as a qualified project so it can receive funding. So that's what happened today. It's not it's not a home run yet for the Spurs. Still some things to be ironed out and worked out, but certainly a big hurdle crossed today for the Spurs and their plans to build a new arena in downtown San Antonio. So, again, we'll talk to Matt Roy with News 4 coming up here at 5 o'clock. RJ Ochoa is going to join us at the bottom of the hour to talk about the Cowboys' schedule. And I can't wait to talk to him because I have the Cowboys with 10 wins, and I wonder if RJ has them with, 16-1. Something like that. We'll see. We'll talk to him about that. We'll have some fun with RJ, no question about it. But this time of day, normally, we do a little thing called the Headline Blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
Interesting story coming out of Ohio. The Ohio State fans are not happy with Fox. You know, Fox has the big noon kickoff games, and Texas and Ohio State to open up the season are scheduled right now on Fox to kick off at noon Eastern, 11 o'clock here in San Antonio. They're not happy about it. And the reason they're not happy about it is because they want to drink. I think that's a big part of it. They got to get up too early to drink, which is not a bad thing. But a representative, guy's name is Tex Fisher. He's an Ohio representative, but his name is Tex Fisher, is out with a bill today designed to curtail the Big Ten from scheduling Ohio State football games at noon. Now, the bill includes an exception that allows the Michigan game to kick off in its actual traditional slot. But other than that, they don't want to play at noon every week. And Ohio State, quite frankly, has been playing at noon quite a bit. And they're scheduled to open up the season at noon on Fox against the University of Texas. Now, this bill also includes a $10 million fine against Fox or the Big Ten if they dare to schedule a top 10 matchup for Big Noon. I think it's crazy, isn't it? They just don't want to play noon games at Ohio State. And I don't know how many they played last year, but it seemed like quite a few. It seemed like Fox had them on. Now, Fox does very well with this game, ratings-wise. They do. And so they just as soon keep it right there. Because a lot of times, and it's a big matchup against an Ohio State or Michigan, and so there's a lot of eyes on it. And it's kind of in a time slot all by itself. Normally, you get big games in the SEC at 3 o'clock or 2:30 or the 6 o'clock kickoff. With some big games as well. So I don't think this thing is going to go anywhere. I mean, I can't imagine that it's going to I just can't imagine it's going to go anywhere. But I think it's funny that an Ohio representative named Tex is out with a bill because he doesn't want the Big Ten and Fox to have Ohio State playing all their games at noon. So there you go. We'll have to continue to follow that. Very interesting. Well, very interesting story. No question about it. The other story today I think that is interesting. Have you seen this? There is an article on ESPN, which is very interesting, talking about Caleb Williams. His father did not want him to go to the Chicago Bears. They were looking at lawyers. They were talking to the Manning family. Remember, Eli Manning got drafted by the San Diego Chargers. He didn't want to play with the San Diego Chargers, ended up fighting his way, making his way to the New York Giants. John Elway did the same thing back in the day. And so he changed. So Caleb Williams was contemplating this, and it was his father who was really doing it. Well, his father, his name is Carl Williams, says, quote, "Chicago is the place quarterbacks go to die." That's what he said. Seth Wickersham is the author of a book called American Kings, a biography of the quarterback. And that's who wrote this book and who they're talking to. Caleb Williams talked to a lot of people. He really didn't want to go there. And it mainly had to do, according to this book, because of Bears offensive coordinator Shane Waldron, now former offensive coordinator Shane Waldron. He didn't want to go there until he had a visit, as the book says. Now, Caleb went to the Bears facility, had a visit, and then had a change of mind. He said, you know what? I can change this franchise. I know I can do it. I want to go to the Chicago Bears. Bears end up drafting him, and it wasn't a good first year for Caleb Williams, to say the least. I think the Bears made a big mistake then for not firing their head coach before Williams got there, but it turned out pretty good, or it should. At least it's got the potential to do that. Now with Ben Johnson there, the former offensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions. So interesting, though, that Caleb Williams, the quarterback of the Chicago Bears, did not want to go play for the Chicago Bears at first, and his father was dead set against it. That's to say the least. So he's in Chicago now, and I guess that's all that matters, and I think very happy to be there with the change that's going to happen. It's going to be interesting to see, Pledge, and I'll be honest with you. The Bears have always been a defense-first team. They always have been, right? And
I mean, we got an American Pope before, a 4,000-yard passer for the Bears.
Well, that's exactly right, and I think now, though, that's going to change. I really think that's going to change. I think the Bears, while they still want a good defense, don't get me wrong, but the emphasis with Ben Johnson now is going to be on that offense. They improved their offensive line for sure, or at least they hope they did this year.
And the weapons.
So, look, it's going to be interesting to see how that Bears team looks. That's why when I saw the Cowboys on the schedule at Chicago, it's kind of hard to pick that because there's so many unknowns. I don't know what the Bears are going to look like. I don't think anybody at this point in time knows what the Chicago Bears are going to look like. So it's going to be interesting, but I think it's going to work out well for Caleb Williams. Did you see the game last night, the Boston Celtics and the New York Knickerbockers? Boston wins this thing in large part to Derek White. Derek White was fantastic last night, hitting three after three after three. And didn't that guy used to be a Spur, Pledge? Wasn't he a Spur at one time?
I believe so. I think he went to like a cooking school and then Colorado and then the Spurs.
Yeah,
I want to say drafted him. It was so long ago. I can't remember.
I watched that guy play last night, and I think I cried. I really
34 points.
Yeah, 9 3-pointers. I think I cried, but it is what it is, right? Maybe we'll get him back. Who knows? Jaylen Brown, though, there is video out. If you haven't seen this, you need to check it out. He actually grabs Josh Hart's package. And he does it on purpose. It was not an accident.
Like off his porch?
No. In his shorts. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen. He grabs Josh Hart's wiener, and Hart obviously didn't care for that too much, so he pushes him away. Both of the guys got a technical foul. And why? I don't understand. And then, of course, don't we all wish we could see more wiener? Well, not like that. That's you're grabbing a dude's wiener in the middle of a basketball game. Hey, see more wiener. So as soon as I see that, I'm looking at this article and I'm watching the video, and I'm like, I can't believe what I'm seeing because I didn't see it during the game. I just thought they were fighting, so I didn't pay that much attention. But you see it clearly when they slow it down. And then all of a sudden, in the same article, you see all these videos and pictures of Brown with Diddy at his freak-off parties and stuff. So you're wondering if he's trying to get freaky there with Josh Hart. I don't know. But I love wieners. Josh Hart was not having any of it. And it's funny now, but I'm sure Josh Hart didn't think it was funny. And you got to wonder about, the next game. What, is Hart going to wear a cup? Or do something to protect himself. My goodness, from Jaylen Brown. But interesting
Gobbler's
game.
knob.
Interesting game last night. And it was just good to see a former Spur pull the Boston Celtics and keep them alive, at least momentarily anyway. Deion Sanders has got a new series coming to Netflix, and it's going to talk about his life. From college, growing up, then to college, into the pros. And I forgot that Deion Sanders actually played baseball. Do you remember that, Pledge? He played baseball for the Yankees.
Yeah, I remember when he played a playoff game for the Braves.
Yes.
The Atlanta Braves. And then a game for the Falcons later that night, or was that the 49ers?
Yeah, well, who knows? But it's crazy. So I think it will be interesting because Deion's had a pretty interesting life, and it's still going. I mean, obviously, it's still going. So I'm going to watch it. It doesn't say when this is coming out, but it will be coming to Netflix, and it's a series. I think a 3-part series is what they were saying, and it should be very entertaining. I will watch that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So, a lot of interesting stories off the beaten path. So let's get back to the beaten path, and no more Josh Hart, Jaylen Brown stories, but we will talk some NBA playoffs because the Timberwolves. Watch out for them. The Timberwolves and the Pacers. Anybody have that on your bingo card, is to head to the finals in their conferences? That's crazy, but that's what's happened. We're going to talk some NBA basketball when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Morning Huddle.
I was once asked by a girl, gun to head, you've got to make out with one guy in the world. Who would you make out with?
Caitlyn Jenner.
And I said, I don't know if this is the correct response or not, but what I said was modern or historical. Yeah.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation.
Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row.
Groundworks is the official foundation repair company of Texas Athletics. Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Gentlemen, testosterone levels can start dropping in your 30s, leading to low energy, reduced libido, and slower metabolism. Rock's Discount Vitamins is making it easy to take back control. No appointments and no prescriptions. Just head into a Rock's and walk out with a natural solution tailored to you. Our powerful line of natural testosterone boosters can help increase energy, build muscle, rev up your metabolism, and reignite your drive. You'll feel the difference and fast. Visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God in South Texas.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
Most people in radio commercials talk really fast. But we made this one for RV owners. Progressive knows they like the slower pace of RV life, like this commercial. And they know Progressive will protect their RV at a fair price with discounts. Now here comes the fast part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Get a taste of that winning feeling before the buzzer sounds with ESPN Bet's early victory promo. Simply place a pregame moneyline bet on any NBA playoff game. And if the team you bet goes up by 20 or more points at any point in the game, your bet will get paid out early. Available throughout the NBA playoffs at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-351-4596. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-351-4596. 800-351-4596. 800-351-4596.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results vary. Consult with your tax professional prior to enrollment.
Listen up, San Antonio. At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can get college credit for the stripes you've earned. Turn your military rank into college credit to save time and money on an online degree. Eligible enlisted service members and previously enlisted veterans may receive up to 12 credits for select undergraduate courses based on their rank, and up to 90 credits in total for prior learning, military experience, and training. Classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu/SATX.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
This is Andrew Monaco, and you're listening to the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know, 94.1 is home to a lot of things, right? You got NBA basketball, Super Bowl, Aggies, football. It's pretty cool to be at a station that's got all the sports that you need and that you want.
America's team.
That's it, and the Dallas Cowboys. That's right. That's right. So that's what we do here at 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. That's where you are at, and we appreciate you being here. I'm Joe Reinagle. Jason Minix with the day off. James Pledger is in the glass box of fun, pushing the buttons in there, doing what he does. Speaking of NBA basketball, we do have a game tonight, don't we, Pledge? The Nuggets and
elimination game,
okay,
potentially.
It is, and the Nuggets just got some bad news. This just came across. Jamal Murray is questionable for tonight's game. He's ill, apparently. Now, I don't know if he'll pull one of those miraculous recoveries, go get an IV and, whatever, and come running out and score about 80 points tonight. But,
better suck it up.
He's got to, right? I mean, this is an elimination game. A must-win game for the Denver Nuggets. The true definition of a must-win game. They are trailing in this series 3-2. So only game on tonight, which will be nice, and it starts early. 7:30 tip. We get you started here on San Antonio Sports Star at 7 o'clock, though. So we'll have to continue to follow the Jamal Murray news here and see how bad he is and whether he plays or not. Going to be an interesting game because I fully expected, before this news, Denver to win this game and go back to OKC for a Game 7. It's just been that good of a series, and it has to end with a Game 7. I insist on it ending with a Game 7. The Boston Celtics stayed alive last night. What a game. What a game for Derek White. Derek White was simply fantastic, and I root for that guy. I hated it when he was traded away. I get it. I understand why the Spurs did it, but he was just getting better. And he kind of spun his wheels a little bit here in San Antonio, but boy, he got to Boston and turned into a star. And he has been a valuable piece of that Boston Celtics championship run. There is no question about it. But Derek White, they talked to him in the postgame locker room last night, and he said, you know what, it's just simple that we just didn't want to go home.
I mean, our back's against the wall. It's win or go home at this moment, so none of us want to go home. And so we understand that it's only going to get tougher. We haven't done anything yet. Just got to find a way to go to New York and win a game.
Well, that's all you got to do, Derek, is go to New York and win a game. And, again, it would be interesting without Jason Tatum if the Celtics can somehow win a game in Madison Square Garden, get this thing back to Boston for a Game 7. That will be incredible. I don't know how much chance I would give Boston without their stud, although if Derek White continues to play the way that he's playing, maybe it'll be okay. But obviously they've got to win 2 more games. A must-win game for them tomorrow night in Game 6 in New York. Timberwolves last night knocked off the Golden State Warriors it was really a tight ball game. It was. I don't ever think I was ever in doubt that Minnesota was going to win that thing, but Golden State just kept hanging around and hanging around and hanging around. But finally, Minnesota wins that thing. So they get to rest a little bit, and they watch Denver and OKC beat each other up. But I didn't have the Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals. I would have never thought that. And then the Indiana Pacers, too. I think both of those teams surprised me. I know there were some of you guys on our YouTube page that we had that, or we had this, and yeah, okay. But it's going to be interesting to have some different teams in the finals. And the Timberwolves, we get to watch Anthony Edwards for a while, but it was really Julius Randle last night who did most of the damage for the Timberwolves. He played really well. And look, Golden State without Steph Curry is just not Golden State. They're not. I mean, you're taking 30 points a game away. And even with Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and everybody else that they have, without Steph Curry, it was going to be a difficult haul, and they just couldn't make it. I think it was going to be difficult with Steph Curry, but the fact that he wasn't there made it that much more difficult, that's for sure. But interesting series, Minnesota, whoever they play. I think it'd be an outstanding series if it's Minnesota and Oklahoma City. With all the young stars that are in that both of those teams, I think, my goodness, that would be a fun series to watch. Look, I'm not counting Denver out because they've got the best player on the planet right now in Jokic. But I really want to see Oklahoma City get this done. I want to see it in a Game 7. I want them to get that done in a Game 7. But to see Minnesota and Oklahoma City in the Western Conference Finals would be a lot of fun. Indiana and New York. Does that excite you? If it's Indiana and New York, or even Indiana and Boston, I like the way Indiana's playing ball. I like how physical they are. But I don't know if that either one of those teams excite me.
Did anything outside of Boston, Cleveland particularly excite you in any way in the East?
No, the East sucks. I mean, it really does. But I'll tell you, I wouldn't mind seeing Indiana get to the finals. I think they're playing well enough. I like their physical brand of basketball. I like how they beat you up. And I think if either team, and I think it's going to be the Knicks, I think they'll end up winning this series, they could beat up the New York Knicks and play physical with them. And I think that might be a pretty good battle. No question about it. So, but it's not like Minnesota and Oklahoma City, man, I'd be fired up to watch every game in that series. Indiana and New York, it's like, I
mean, there is the Brunson Halliburton.
I get it. And I mean, dude, are you going to have Wiener pulling in that final series like you had last night? I mean, that kind of made it a little more entertaining, I guess. I don't know. I love wieners, dude. That just freaks me out a little bit. Honestly, I mean, you're just playing basketball and some dude reaches and grabs your package. I mean, come on. That's like the lowest of low.
I mean, he went low.
He went about midway, Pledge, okay? It wasn't that low. It was midway. I just don't get it. I really don't. And you got to knock that off. You know, that's just – there ought to be a punishment for that, and a severe one. I think even Hart's wife posted that wasn't right because she was probably afraid. It's like, well, he's coming home and going to bed tonight. There'll be no extracurricular activity in this household.
Well, he also got his face busted open.
He did. So I don't know. Oklahoma City, Minnesota. I want to see that after a Game 7 with Denver. And then the other one, well, we'll just see who wins. Because I'm like,
The future of the NBA is going to be so boring. At least, well, the Eastern Conference.
Well, it sucks. It sucked as long as I can remember, honestly.
Well, I remember in the 90s it was fantastic.
Well,
you had the Pacers and Bulls and Celtics and Pistons and Knicks. Like, those battles were epic.
Yeah, they were. But that's been a long time ago. There are a lot of people listening to the show right now that don't remember that are too young to remember that. All you remember is the dominance of the Western Conference. The Spurs run. It was either the Spurs or the Lakers, it seemed like. right? So it was that run that it was just so good in the West.
But at least they had like certain players. Like you had your LeBron years, you had your Celtics big 3 years.
LeBron.
Like whether you agree or not, like it was at least a draw to the Eastern Conference. Like
those
draw
Miami
eyeball.
teams were good. Yeah, the Miami teams that split with the Spurs in the finals, that was a good team that they had assembled there. One of those super teams that actually worked. I don't know. The East has been bad overall for a while now.
But the West is getting better, too. And that's the
exactly
scary
right.
thing.
Yeah. And the Spurs are back.
According to an exec with the Spurs.
Well, I think according to everybody, and depending on what they do. I heard Rob Thompson this morning, and I love Rob, and he's the basketball expert around here.
Uh-oh.
But he said the Spurs could stay just where they are. And right now they're a playoff team with Wemby and Castle and Fox.
I don't necessarily disagree with that.
Well, so it's different. Okay, if you're satisfied with just being a playoff team, but you can't tell me that team as assembled right now is going to make any kind of run. None in the Western Conference.
Has a team ever had 3 straight Rookies of the Year before?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. My first thought would be no.
I mean, you have Wemby.
Yeah.
You followed it with Castle.
Yes.
If you stick and pick with Dylan Harper and he turns into what everybody's thinking he's going to be, you could have 3 straight.
You could.
That's 3 pretty good building blocks along with the De'Aaron Fox.
Sure. I'd rather have somebody else. I'd rather trade that thing away. Somebody else. Let's go. Now, to Rob's point, I think maybe they are a playoff team as assembled. And if you draft well again, then maybe they are. But I just don't see this team going very far. And so if you're satisfied with just making the playoffs, and I'm not, I want to make a run. It's, May 15th right now? I want the Spurs to still be playing right now, next year. Well, we'll see what happens. RJ Ochoa, Blogging the Boys, is going to join us when we come up, when we get back here. We'll talk a little Cowboys football. I want to get his thoughts on the Cowboys schedule because I want to see if he's going to be honest with us. We'll see. We're going to have some fun with RJ Ochoa. That's coming up next right here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Friday on the Morning Huddle. The Preakness is tomorrow. We're joined by an expert. Dick Girardi gets here at 8:45.
And were the Thunder able to finish off the Nuggies? We'll talk about that and the Eastern Conference playoffs. Plenty more to discuss. Morning Huddle, don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, you know the best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds. 210-225-2121 is the phone number. You can also text BAIL to 474747 or even start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Whether it's you, a family member, a friend of yours, your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7. Offices all over San Antonio and Texas. License number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds 210-225-2121 or online mybestbailbonds.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Looking for a place with character, cold drinks, and real Texas charm? Pull up a chair at the Lion and Rose in the Dominion. This local favorite, run by the Tharp family, serves up Southern hospitality, military pride, and seriously good food. Happy hour daily from 3 till 7 p.m. with $2.50 drafts, select wine, wells, and mimosas. Plus, tasty bites from just $5. Big screens, bold flavors, and a patio made for post-game hangs. Now open at 23330 West I-10. The Lion and Rose.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-499-9102. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-499-9102. That's 800-499-9102. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Here in Texas, we know that trust is earned and reputation matters. Since 1993, Thomas J. Henry dedicated himself to building a firm that injured clients can trust and that Texans can respect. A firm where no defendant is too big and no case is too small. Backed by a track record of success and a commitment to our clients, Thomas J. Henry remains the name you can depend on if you have been injured. Trust the firm that stands for you. Trust Thomas J. Henry. San Antonio, Texas.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Bundle Deal Days at AutoZone.
Well, I do need a bundle of things.
When you bundle, you save.
Do I save if I bundle oil with an oil filter?
Save up to $12 on that bundle.
What about brake pads and rotors?
Bundle those and the brake pads are free.
Can't save more than free.
You can save on hundreds of deals during Bundle Deal Days. Ends June 2nd at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Duralast brake pads only.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is gearing up to send you to the Austin City Limits Music Festival. 9 stages, 2 weekends, and more big-time artists than at Texas Tailgates. October 3rd through the 5th, and again October 10th through the 12th in the live music capital of the world. We're talking Sabrina Carpenter, Hosier, Doja Cat, Luke Combs, The Strokes, John Summit, Doechii, Faith, and whole mess of other stars lighting up Zilker Park. Listen to the Morning Huddle and the Blitz this week for your chance to win a pair of 3-day wristbands to Weekend 2. We're picking one winner on each show this Friday, and every qualifier scores a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom at 1604 and Stone Oak Parkway. Cold drinks, hot pizza, and ACL wristbands. That's a Texas-sized jackpot. Want to lock in your tickets now? Head to aclfest.com. All this week, it's ACL giveaways. Only on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
That's pretty good, Pledge. Not bad. You got RJ jamming over there as well. How about that? This is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You heard Big Voice Guy talking about the ACL Fest wristband qualifiers. We will qualify another person in the 5 o'clock hour today, but you got to know the key word, kerfuffle. Kerfuffle is the key word. I know RJ Ochoa is going to appreciate that key word, kerfuffle. We're going to bring him on. Blogging the Boys, the big wig at Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa, joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. RJ, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing even better now that Dear Maria Count Me In brought me in. I mean, that was all of a sudden, Joe, it was 2002, and life was simple again.
What were you, like 5 in 2002?
You know, I was in middle school at that time and,
Okay.
and going through a lot, you know, dealing with, like cursing for the first time, you know what I mean? Feeling like a renegade, you know what I mean? When you're dropping an occasional F-bomb or two. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. That's why I still do that. It makes me feel good today to drop an occasional F-bomb, RJ. So it's all good. It's all good. Hey, listen, the schedule comes out for the Dallas Cowboys, and I don't know. You look at it, it's not an easy one, that's for sure. First impressions.
Yeah, I mean, first impressions are it's not as bad as I think people think. It has some unique quirks, and that's honestly the part that I enjoy kind of unpacking. The 4 Thursday games, I think that's a little, the first game is a Thursday. Like it's not really like they're dealing with a disadvantage there. They also play on a Thursday 7 days after Thanksgiving against a team who's doing the same thing. So again, kind of 6 in one half a dozen in another. There's no question that, kind of around, you're familiar with sweep season and television.
Sure.
There's no question that the Cowboys have been given some epic matchups and some epic windows in that time. I suppose that if I'm stunned at anything, and this, I guess, applies to Kansas City and Detroit as well, it's that Dallas is playing on Thanksgiving and Christmas. It just feels like the NFL is not even hiding it anymore. It's a matter of the Cowboys are our cash cow. We know that, and we want everybody to just pay attention because you're going to one way or the other.
That's interesting you said that, and Pledge and I were talking about it. Anybody that says the Cowboys aren't America's team anymore is dead wrong because clearly they are, and this shows you that they are. But what's interesting to me, and I love the matchup, and I can't wait for it, when you got Dallas and Kansas City on Thanksgiving Day, that game really doesn't need anything else. I mean, people are going to watch that anyway, but the fact that it's the Chiefs and the Cowboys, I mean, that's going to be enormous.
Yeah, and I think that same principle also holds true for the season opener. People have always said, like, oh, they should have a rematch or whatever. It's like, dude, when you've been wandering in the desert for 3 months, you don't need filet mignon. You know what I mean? Like, give me some Ritz crackers, and it will be the most delicious thing I've ever had. And so you're right. I mean, for anyone who's unaware, the Cowboys game on Thanksgiving is the second most watched program on television every year. Number one is the Super Bowl. And so we're not talking about, any episode of Grey's Anatomy or the Oscars. No, like the second most thing watched on TV every year is this game. And so it is interesting to kind of burn the Chiefs, if you will. It is a CBS year, and so there is a bit of an affinity there. I will say I don't think it would have happened if not for the fact that it's going to be Patrick Mahomes' first start at AT&T Stadium. And outside of the fact that that's true, if he weren't a Texas guy, if he weren't so synonymous with Dallas, obviously he's a big Mavericks fan, whatever, it's just kind of the perfect storm of material, perfect kind of family aspect. Obviously we get the same kind of packages every year. It is weird. It is strange. And also along those lines, I mentioned the 7 days later. We've seen that happen a lot for the Cowboys over the last decade or so, but we've never seen them play the Lions. It's always a team that obviously also plays on Thanksgiving so that you have the equal rest advantage and whatnot, but it's just never been Detroit. And so the Lions being good has earned them a seat at the adults table.
Well, I think that's interesting, too, and the fact that I think the Lions came to Jerry World last year and the Cowboys are going to Detroit this time, that makes that game intriguing, depending on what the Lions are now that they've lost Ben Johnson. There are a lot of teams, and we were talking about Chicago, Detroit. Those teams you're going to have to watch and see what kind of identity they have now. Are they going to change a lot, or are they, especially Chicago, is Ben Johnson going to completely change what they've been in the past, and that's mostly defense?
Yeah, and I think that the Cowboys play the two Lions coordinators, Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, very early in the season. In fact, before the first week of October is over, and so in that sense, because these are great coaches, and I think they're going to turn those programs around. I think that we're going to see them, turn into solid football teams, but that's not going to happen early on. It's probably not going to happen in the first 5 weeks of the season. And so the Cowboys kind of need that opportunity to kind of stack some wins because the second half, the final quarter, if you will, is so intense. And that's where, again, the little intricacies that I like, the Cowboys, their first 2 weeks are against division rivals. That doesn't happen often. Since the NFL merger in 1970, this is the 11th instance in which the Cowboys begin their season with back-to-back divisional games. And some people might be like, well, who cares? It's not big of a deal. Well, those are really valuable games. Like if you win or lose those games, that takes like 6 weeks to make up for it, and you still have to kind of get some help from your division rivals losing. And so if they can, squeak by 1-1 through those first two games, maybe even, God willing, win those two, and then you catch the Bears when they're still learning who they are. You catch those Jets when they're still learning who they are. I don't think it's out of the question that come Halloween, we do view this team as someone who's going to be a legitimate playoff contender.
Well, I don't think there's any question about that. I fully expect them to be a playoff contender. And I'll tell you what my record is for the Cowboys a little bit later in this interview as we visit with R.J. Ochoa, editor-in-chief for Blogging the Boys. I find that interesting, that Philadelphia game. Not only is it a division rival, but they're going to hang that Super Bowl banner during that game.
Yeah, that gets said a lot, and I don't mean this against you specifically, Joe. To be clear, I have no problem saying anything against you specifically.
I realize that, yes.
But, I mean, like, if you're a Cowboys player and someone's like, well, they're going to hang the banner in front of you, like, I would just be like, well, the banner would have been there, right? Like whenever we went anyway, like, it would have been there, right? Like, okay, cool. Like, you mean the Philadelphia fans are going to scream at us and say mean things? Oh, no. Like, I do think there's a little bit of a callous there. It's fun and it's great television and it's entertaining. There's no doubt about it. And you can argue that maybe this team kind of needs that kick in the ass to, wake up a little bit. So in that sense, it's not a bad thing. I'll say, look, I hate the Eagles more than most things. I mean, the number of things I hate more than them is I can count on one hand. That being said, though, I think the fact that they've become so good and that the 2022 version of them didn't win the Super Bowl, they don't bother me anymore. Like, they're annoying, and I want them to lose, and I want the Cowboys to beat them, but it doesn't, cause me to lose sleep at night the way that it used to. And, if the Cowboys – look, ultimately, the Cowboys are going to Philadelphia very, very early as possible, and that's a huge win. And that's another kind of takeaway I have for the schedule at large. If you look, the Cowboys visit the Denver Broncos in Week 8. That's October 26th. From that point on, they do not travel outdoors until Christmas Day when they visit the Washington Commanders. And so this is a team that has, to be straight up, played kind of soft when it's been cold outside. And they don't have to deal with any of those outdoor external elements as October comes, as November rolls on, and as December arrives. And you can make an argument that maybe that Week 18 game on the road against the Giants will or won't be inconsequential. We've seen it break both ways in the past. So it's very possible that the Cowboys play a single game of consequence, below 40 degrees the entire season.
Well, I look at the schedule, RJ, and you're right. There are some teams in there the Cowboys should handle. They should handle the Jets. They should handle the Panthers. The Chicago Bears, to me, is a toss-up just because I don't know what they're going to be like. And then Denver is another team. That's going to be a tough matchup for anybody. The Cowboys included, I think, just because of what they are and what Sean Payton's trying to build there. And then you look at that stretch run. And the Raiders, who knows? I'm giving the Cowboys that game. But you got Philly, the Chiefs, the Lions, and the Vikings, and the Chargers. Those 5 games could be very difficult, and that's a tough stretch.
Yeah, and that's all coming out of the bye. The one before the bye, the Cardinals, I'm a little bit higher on them than a lot of people. I think that, and the Cardinals are one of those teams that kind of, just throw a knuckleball at the Cowboys that they can't quite seem to hit. And the Broncos are that way for that matter. Cowboys haven't beaten the Broncos since 1995. It's a weird kind of, kryptonite of theirs. And so that's why those early games are going to be so valuable. You're going to have to – you can't drop those papita games. You have to beat the Jets. You have to beat the Panthers. You have no room for error because, look, I don't know how good I think the Vikings are going to be or the Chargers are going to be, but I certainly anticipate the Eagles to be good. I think Washington takes a step back, but it is still a division rival and a head coach who knows you very well. Detroit, is a little bit interesting because they have so much turnover from a coaching perspective. It's not easy. There's no doubt about that. It's very difficult. But, I mean, in that respect, it's the NFL, and it's never going to be easy.
Never going to be easy. We're visiting with R.J. Ochoa, the editor-in-chief for Blogging the Boys, and talking about the Dallas Cowboys schedule here. The Green Bay Packer game on a Sunday night, early in the season. What is that, week 4? I worry about that game, RJ, because it seems like Green Bay owns the Cowboys.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. To me, this game feels like, I know you remember Week 3, 2008, Joe. The Cowboys went to Lambeau Field. It was Aaron Rodgers' first season as a starter, and they just beat the crap. I mean, like the absolute crap out of the Packers, and it felt so good. It felt so awesome to walk so tall and act like, oh, whatever. And we had no idea what was coming, obviously, for the next decade and a half. That being said, I think this is a bit of an empty calorie game for me. I think it will be billed as, the rematch. It's Green Bay's first appearance in the building since the playoffs game, obviously, a year and a half ago. And the Cowboys, I think, will kick the crap out of them. And they will, pound their chest and act tall like, oh, man, this is awesome. And it's like, cool, man, it's not even in October. You know what I mean? Like, it's a September game. You know what I mean? Like, it will be nice, and it's a conference game, and those things matter and have tiebreakers associated with them. But there will be a lot of people who act like the score is settled when it will still be like 100-3.
100-3. I'm going to write that down, RJ, and I'm going to keep it handy.
No, I'm saying that's the grand total of like ongoing score between the Packers and the Cowboys.
I got you.
And the Cowboys winning this game will get them to 3 in that match.
I got you. I understand. All right, RJ, I know you've gone through the schedule. You've done your win-loss and your projections. I've done mine. Before we get to yours, I'm going to tell you what I have the Cowboys, and I thought it was fair. I think Pledge thinks it's fair too, and I'm trying to, my Cowboy bias there. I don't want to let that get involved, and I don't want you to do that either. I've got the Cowboys going 10-7 with this schedule. What do you think of that first of all, before you tell us what you have?
I think that's really fair and conservative, and I bet that of the 7 losses you predicted, I bet you could convince yourself otherwise on maybe 2 of them. And
sure.
I think even some of the wins, there's probably a kind of push there, which is why, depending on your sportsbook du jour, most have the Cowboys set at a win total over under of 7.5. And look, I'm in no way like Cowboys winning the Super Bowl. You're stupid if you don't believe that, but I do think you're stupid if you think the Cowboys are going to win 7 or fewer games. That's not who they are. Again, they are very flawed, and they will lose in the playoffs, and it will be embarrassing, and they will embarrass themselves and all of us. But this is not a team and an organization and a quarterback who bottom out like that. They've lost 7 or fewer games twice in the Dak Prescott era. And the 2 years in question were both years that he missed more than half of the season due to injury. So if he is healthy, you can set your watch by the fact that they're at the very least going to win 10 games, to your point.
Well, I hope he is healthy, and I worry about Dak's health. I really do, but I hope he is healthy, and I hope we see the good version of the Cowboys, because it's good for our business, obviously. And I've said that for years. The Cowboys are very good for business. All right, RJ, tell me what you have the Cowboys finishing.
I'm very close to you. A little bit more optimistic. I've got them going 11-6, and again, I think that it ultimately will come down to kind of 5 games, around that territory where it is a game played with an oblong-shaped ball made out of leather, and sometimes it's a year where those bounces go your way, and sometimes it's a year where they don't. There's regression to the mean in all sorts of senses, and so I think that they'll rebound in a lot of ways. I do think they'll have a little bit of a honeymoon bump, obviously, off of having a new head coach and whatnot, and having Dak back and George Pickens being part of everything. And they tried, right? They tried this offseason, which is enough for, I think, 3 wins on its own to add to how they did last year. So 11-6 feels fair to me. But again, if all hell broke loose and they only won 9 games, I think that would still flirt with a wild card, and at the very least, like I said, would deliver the over on 7.5.
RJ Ochoa, editor-in-chief for Blogging the Boys. And look, I think that's fair. There are some teams, like you say, that I just don't know what they're going to be like, so it's very difficult to predict. We did it anyway. Minix is always famous for saying the Cowboys will win a game they have no business winning, and they'll lose a game they have no business losing, because it seems to happen that way every year. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, like I said, they haven't beaten the Broncos since 1995. But they'll beat the crap out of the Packers, or they'll go to Detroit, you know what I mean, and skunk them, or they'll beat the tar out of Kansas City on Thanksgiving with the whole world watching. There will be one of those games, and there will be a lot of people who walk tall the week after. But then the other shoe will drop, because this is these are the Dallas Cowboys, and I agree with Jason. They will find a way. They only know how to find that way to embarrass you. Just when you think you're safe, that's when you're in the most danger possible.
All right, RJ, I haven't had a chance to talk to you since the George Pickens trade. And I know before that trade was made, I read some of your tweets and said you weren't a big fan of that trade. It happened. What do you think now?
Yeah, I keep saying, just for the purpose of being honest and objectivity, that I wouldn't have done it. I mean, I don't want to sound like a waffler. I mean, if I had been consulted, I would have said, no, I think this is too big of a risk. I recognize that they're in a position to take a risk, and I recognize that I've even, challenged them to take a risk. So I don't mean to be like, well, not this one, but it is an enormous risk. And there's a lot of people who say things like, well, if the Eagles had done it, it would be brilliant. Yeah, well, I mean, they've kind of earned that benefit of the doubt, right? Like for us to trust them. And so there's zero doubt that there are huge rewards available here. There's zero doubt that he's a fantastically talented football player. There's zero doubt that they were in need. And that's where there's a little bit of dog chasing its own tail here for me with the fan base. People are like, well, they really need a receiver. Well, I mean, like, whose fault is that? Like, they were painted into a corner and they held the brush. You know what I mean? Like, this was their doing. They made this bed. And so I recognize that, if we all want them to fix things, there are going to be some give and take that they're going to have to make. They're going to have to take some chances and try to cut some corners. And I think this is definitely one of those things. And I don't wish that they had reached on a receiver in the draft. Obviously, Ted McMillan didn't fall to them, and it is what it is. And ultimately, I commend them for not living in some sort of sunk cost fallacy and saying, hey, look, we traded for Jonathan Mingo last year. That's going to be our plan. I respect that they're willing to say that's a failure. If we get something out of that, great, but we need to do something. This is one of the most influential ways that they have helped Dak Prescott over the last decade. And so in that sense, I'm a fan. Again, lots and lots and lots of pros, but people say things like, oh, well, if he walks, we're getting a third-round comp pick. None of that is guaranteed. There are so many, details and things that have to happen, dominoes that have to fall for that to be the case. So I don't think it's being fair to only evaluate the pros of the situation and act like the cons don't exist, because there are multiple cons associated with it.
No, there's no question about it. And I don't think he stays there, because I think he thinks he's the number one guy and wants to get paid like a number one guy.
To that point, I don't mean to interrupt, but okay, I wouldn't have done the trade, but we're here now, right? We crossed this line. Now we have to live here. Okay, great. Then extend it. Like, to me, there's zero reason not to do it. And it's the same principle, the same idea and philosophy that we've talked about. Pick your favorite player that has not gotten the extension on time. And people say, like, no, well, let's see what he has to do. Well, then why did you trade for him? The plan is for him to be a very good player for you, right? The plan, the goal is for him to succeed and to thrive and to be worthy of that contract. And so it will never be cheaper. The situation you can somewhat liken it to that I have, when the Eagles traded for A.J. Brown, that was during the 2021 NFL draft. They spent the first-round pick, not a third-round pick. The very first thing they did was give him an extension. Very first thing, before you ever played it down for them. Why? You're simply betting against yourself by saying, well, because, like, what are they going to do to celebrate it? If he sucks, if he has 400 yards, they're going to be like, yeah, hell yeah, Joe. Now we can pay him less. Awesome. Look at us. We're super smart. No. So you made the decision, great, but do it the right way. I mean, like, extend him now so that next offseason, when you're dealing with more extensions you didn't do early, you don't have this one on top of it. Get ahead of something for once.
Well, they still got to extend that, what's his name, Micah Parsons guy. That hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. Now I'll ask you a question. Does that happen before you set foot on the tennis courts in Oxnard?
It just judging from past history, RJ, I would bet that it does not.
Isn't that stupid?
Yes.
Like, wouldn't that be stupid?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it would. I can't argue with you there. That would be extremely dumb. We saw what happened with C.D. Lamb, and that didn't work out all that great, although C.D. Eventually came out and had a pretty good year. But, yeah, it should be done. It should already be done, and I'm not sure why it's not. But it is the Dallas Cowboys we're talking about, RJ, and you know it.
That's what comes with the dinner, as they say.
That's exactly right. You're the best, my friend. I appreciate you jumping on with us. RJ Ochoa, editor-in-chief for Blogging the Boys. We appreciate you very much. We'll talk again soon, my friend.
Thanks for having me, Joe. Do me a favor. Ask Pledge how many Texans players he drafted in our Dynasty Football League.
I'll ask him. Yeah, you must know the answer to that. It must not be very many.
Oh, it's a number.
It's a number.
And you just have the conversation.
I'll have the conversation. RJ Ochoa, always good to talk to you, my friend, about the Dallas Cowboys. And, of course, RJ and all our guests appear via the Buyers Barricades guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com. Dallas Cowboys football is always interesting, no question about it. You know what else is interesting? what the San Antonio City Council did today. They did something that moved the Spurs closer to a downtown arena. I want to talk about that when we come back. So happy you're here with us on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You're riding with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
When you need an electrician, you know Hill Electric is available for both residential and commercial needs. Hi, Jason Minix here. I've used Hill Electric for a variety of projects at my home through the years. They've added extra outlets in the garage, put up a spotlight over one of the grills outside, dimmer lights in the living room. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. Whether you need additional outlets or USB ports, you need to fix a fuse that is always blowing or a flickering light, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, never a service charge, and always free estimates, so it costs you absolutely nothing to figure out what it will take to get a project done. Hill Electric is a great locally owned, family-run business. Again, never a service charge, always free estimates. Call Hill Electric, 210-404-9074, 404-9074, or check their website, hill-electric.com. That's hill-electric.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where Groundworks comes in. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row.
Groundworks is the official foundation repair company of Texas Athletics. Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
George gets justice. In an instant, a careless driver turns your life upside down. You're hurt, the bills pile up, and work stops. At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, your consultation is free. No fees, no pressure, just real help. Justice starts with one call. If you've been injured, it's time to get George. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. Getgeorge.com.
Hey, listen up, San Antonio. Multiple tours overseas, long nights monitoring cyber activity, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training. We call that credit where credit is due. Whether you're active duty and looking at what's next, or a veteran looking for something new, our degrees and certificate programs teach the application of emerging technologies and enduring life skills. So get started on a degree or certificate with personalized local support services and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. At UMGC, you'll find everything from online to hybrid courses and lifetime career services to scholarship opportunities, making your education journey flexible, fast, and affordable. Apply now and save with no application fee through May 30th. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade Event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade Event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See dealer for full details and display. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos. Fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/score. That's ethos.com/score.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the San Antonio City Council today approved an updated plan for Project Marvel. That's that $4 billion plan, which would include a new arena for the San Antonio Spurs. The approval paves the way. It certainly takes a hurdle away for a new Spurs arena to be funded in part with state tax dollars. Celtics, well, they're still alive thanks to a former Spur, Derek White. They will play Game 6 against the Knicks tomorrow night.
SportsCenter brought to you by Centergenics. Book your appointment at fixmylowt.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope you're having a great one out there. I hear it's pretty warm in San Antonio today, so everybody's staying cool. But it's San Antonio, and it's mid-May. That's typically what happens, right? It starts to get hot, so we deal with it, and we move on. It's why we live here. Trust me, I would rather be hot than to be cold. I'm Joe Reinagel. This is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Jason Minix has the day off. James Pledger is producing this show. Glad to have James here playing the music and doing all that stuff. Keep in mind, we're going to qualify someone to win 2 wristbands to the ACL Fest coming up in October, weekend number 2. The guys on the Morning Huddle did I guess their 4th today. They qualified their 4th person. We're going to do the same this afternoon. And then tomorrow, during tomorrow's show, I'm not clear, Pledge. Maybe you can help me with this. We're going to qualify somebody early tomorrow and then pick a winner of 5, or are we just going to have 4? I'll ask Nick Trey. My understanding is we'll qualify somebody early. We'll pick from a group of 5 for the winner.
No, we've got a qualifier.
Okay, that's what we're going to do then. So
we've actually got 2.
Oh, we're going to qualify 2 people. So we'll have 6 we're going to choose from.
Well.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Oh, no. Sorry. We do have a qualifier, but we choose the winner at the end of the day.
Okay. So there you go. That's what's going to happen. The Morning Huddle fellows will do the same thing tomorrow. So stay tuned. 5 o'clock hour. You can qualify to win 2 wristbands to ACL Fest 2025. Sabrina Carpenter, Hosier, Doja Cat, Luke Combs, all performing in Austin Zilker Park. If you qualify, though, you're not going to walk away empty-handed. You're going to get a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom there at 1604 in Stone Oak. And if you don't want to try your luck at Lady Luck or winning these wristbands, you can always lock your own in at aclfest.com. You can check that out there. But we are going to have, we're going to have a qualifier coming up. You got to know the keyword, though. The keyword is kerfuffle. Apparently, I said that early in the show, and somebody mentioned that on YouTube. I don't remember saying it, but I'll take their word for it, and it's a good word anyway. Kerfuffle.
I like it.
I like it, too. I don't know if it has a true meaning if you looked it up in the dictionary, but it just means that it's chaos, right? Just chaos. Like dogs and cats living together. It's just nuts. It's crazy that way. Kerfuffle. Remember that as we head into the 5 o'clock hour. I will let you know when to call at that time. We've also got a 4-pack of Missions tickets for next Tuesday, May the 20th, when they take on Wichita. And I don't know, it seems as good as any right now, Pledge. What do you think? Give away that 4-pack of Missions tickets?
I mean, it sounds like a good time to me.
Well,
it's a $2 Tuesday.
It's $2 Tuesday, $2 beer, $2 hot dogs, all of that stuff. So why don't we do that right now? You can win a 4-pack of Missions tickets to go see the Missions take on Wichita next Tuesday night, $2 Tuesday, which is San Antonio Sports Star night, by the way. So Sam's on the line. We're going to get to Sam here in just a minute. Look at everybody calling already. So we'll go caller number 7, Pledge, at 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Caller number 7 will win a 4-pack of tickets to go see the Missions next Tuesday on $2 Tuesday. Big news today, and it came down really right before the show, and I'm trying to study like a college guy cramming for an exam, trying to figure out what all of this means. Our good friend Matt Roy from News 4 San Antonio will join us at 5 o'clock to kind of put his spin on it and tell us exactly what's going on. But the way I understand this is that, well, here's what happened. I'll read this to you. San Antonio City Council voted today to create a new project finance zone, which is a funding source connected to plans for downtown NBA Arena. Not only that, for the whole Project Marvel, for that matter. Which is it's been estimated to cost around $4 billion for the entire thing. The new Spurs arena somewhere between $1.2 billion and $1.5 billion for a new arena for the San Antonio Spurs. And basically what this does with the creation, according to what I'm reading here, the Project Finance Zone, it will allow the city to collect a portion of hotel-related state tax dollars. So the state gets a portion of the tax dollars from hotel, motel, and all that stuff for a qualified project. So the city can keep some of that instead of sending it to the state of Texas to help pay for a qualified project over the course of about 28 years. So that's what they're trying to do here. A big hurdle when you're talking about the Spurs, it doesn't mean that all is good and all is go. There are still some things that have to be done, but it's certainly a big hurdle. And the council voted on this 9-0. So it wasn't like it was a split vote. It was a 9-0 vote today for city council. I think there were 2 absent that were not there for whatever reason, but everybody that was there voted in the affirmative, as they say, for this. So it's a big hurdle for the San Antonio Spurs, but still some work to be done, although this is a big step. And again, Matt Roy will join us coming up in a little bit because he covers this for News 4 and for KABB. And so he'll tell us what he's learned and what he's found out. So we'll talk to him coming up at 5 o'clock. But just a massive deal. What do you think about this? Are you happy about it? Is this something that you're happy happened, that the city council did what maybe you think they voted them in to do or what you wanted them to do? I find it interesting because we are going to get some new city council members after this runoff election on June 7th. We're also going to have a new mayor for the city of San Antonio after the runoff election. Rolando Pablos and Gina Ortiz-Jones are in a runoff for San Antonio mayor. By the way, Rolando Pablos is going to join us here on the Blitz tomorrow at 4:35. He has accepted our invitation. We have extended an invitation to Gina Ortiz-Jones, and she has yet to respond, or her campaign has yet to respond. So we're hoping that she will join us as well. I'd like to hear from both of them on how they feel about what the city council did here today and what their thoughts are on a new Spurs arena and the entire Project Marvel. So the invitation has been extended to Gina Ortiz-Jones as well, but Rolando Pablos will join us tomorrow right here on the Blitz at 4:35 to give us his thoughts on what is taking place. Now, something else happened at City Council today, which I find odd, and I really want to get the thoughts of all of you listening, whether you're on YouTube, we appreciate that, whether you are driving around this beautiful city of San Antonio, or however you're watching us, and we appreciate that, by the way. District 8 Councilman Manny Pelez made a formal request today to rename the San Antonio International Airport. His request is to name the airport after former Spurs head coach Greg Popovich. I understand the sentiment, I guess, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And I wonder what Pop thinks about that. And sincerely, and I'm sure he's honored the fact that Manny Pelez would request that. I think anybody would be honored. It's a great honor just to be thought about it with something like that. But to name an airport after Greg Popovich just seems a little odd. What do you guys think? 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Let's go to the phone lines now. Sam wants to talk about the renaming of the airport. Sam, welcome to the Blitz.
Good afternoon, Joe. How you doing today?
I'm good, my friend. What's on your mind?
Well, I'm not a Spur fan, but I am from San Antonio. Greg Popovich shouldn't be honored. This man has done nothing for the community. He's not even a good coach. Yeah, he may have the most wins out of the head coach. Personally, Phil Jackson's a way better coach, but that's another topic to discuss later on. Greg Popovich is this, I know a lot of former Spur players that played for Popovich. They don't like that man.
Well, I don't know about that, Sam, and I'm not.
And also, one thing though, this is the same man that gets on the microphone at a game to tell the fans, "Don't boo Kawhi Leonard."
Well,
this man, he's trying to take people's.
That's not who we are. Knock off the booing.
You know, I mean, this guy. Who does he think he is? This guy.
All right, Sam, thank you for the phone call, buddy. I appreciate you. You had your say, and I let you go on probably longer than I should have. Look, I don't care how you feel about Greg Popovich, but to say he wasn't a good coach is just absolutely ridiculous in my mind. It's a ridiculous statement. The guy, he's got 5 championships, and he turned this team around. And look, he's a great coach. And you could tell, you want to talk about Phil Jackson, you can talk about Greg Popovich the same way, Bill Belichick, and Pop will tell you, great players make great coaches, but somebody's got to organize it and put it into place. And I just can't allow that for you to say Greg Popovich is not a good coach. He's one of the best to ever do it. So thanks for the call, Sam, but I disagree completely. It doesn't change the fact that I'm not sure that he should be the airport should be renamed the Greg Popovich Airport or Greg Popovich International Airport. I'm just not sure that fits. And I would really be curious to hear what Pop would think about that. Very interesting, to say the least. So, wow. Sam didn't hold back on that one. Then this is not about basketball or anything else. This is about naming the airport after Greg Popovich, because that request has been made. And I just don't think it fits. You want to name something, Greg Popovich, you want to name something after him, name the floor in the new arena, the Greg Popovich court, or put a statue up at the new arena. I would be all for that. I think it's great, because no matter what you feel about Greg Popovich, the person, and obviously Sam is not happy about that, and that's fine. If you don't like Greg Popovich, the person, that's fine. But you can't deny what he did and how great he was as a basketball coach. Phil Jackson had a lot of good players. He was a good coach. Pop had a lot of good players, good coach. Bill Belichick had Tom Brady. He was a good coach. So it's kind of hard to say that with any credibility, to say the least. So what do you think about naming the airport after Greg Popovich? That was the question. I don't really care about your feelings for Pop. You can have them and have them well. But what do you think about that? 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Let's go to line 1 before we take a break. Josh is holding on. Josh, what do you think about that?
Well, Joe, I don't know about renaming the airport. I don't know what Pop has done with the airport, but I do think San Antonio does need to name something after Pop. And Sam, I respect you wholeheartedly, brother. Great dude, but, Pop did do a lot for this city. He brought a lot of championships, a lot of joy, and a lot of happiness to a lot of Spurs fans here in San Antonio. I mean, you can rename The Rock after Popovich. You can even rename the arena, put a statue. Pop does need to be immortalized for what he's done. He has taken some of these kids and helped grow them to be better humans in society. You can hate him for what he does, how he does his things. That's fine. That's your thing. But Pop is still a good coach, one of the best coaches that the NBA's ever had, and the respect he has from other players around the NBA just shows it. So yeah, man, don't rename the airport. That's a little much. Let's keep it in the basketball. Let's keep it in the basketball arena. Maybe rename the Rock, or make the new arena Popovich Arena, or the Popovich Court, or I don't know, something Popovich Fan Zone, something like that. Yeah. But yeah, Pop does need to get immortalized. But okay,
we'll figure it out. Hey, I appreciate it, Josh. Thanks for the phone call. Look, I totally agree. And being around Pop, he did put a lot of his own personal money into a lot of things that helped this community. So. Other than that, think what you want. But and I kind of agree with Josh. I think something should happen. I don't think there's any question. I don't think anybody would have a problem with it. And if we're going to get a new arena for the Spurs, I think that's the time to do something for Greg Popovich. But renaming the airport just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So if you want to talk about this, we'll continue this conversation. Claymore, Kenny, we see you on the phone lines. If you want to jump on there, phone lines open at 656-3776. Greg Popovich Airport. Does it fit, and would you want that? We'll talk about it when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is gearing up to send you to the Austin City Limits Music Festival. 9 stages, 2 weekends, and more big-time artists than at Texas Tailgates. October 3rd through the 5th, and again October 10th through the 12th in the live music capital of the world. We're talking Sabrina Carpenter, Hosier, Doja Cat, Luke Combs, The Strokes, John Summit, Doechii, Fate, and whole mess of other stars lighting up Zilker Park. Listen to the Morning Huddle and the Blitz this week for your chance to win a pair of 3-day wristbands to Weekend 2. We're picking one winner on each show this Friday, and every qualifier scores a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom at 1604 and Stone Oak Parkway. Cold drinks, hot pizza, and ACL wristbands. That's a Texas-sized jackpot. Want to lock in your tickets now? Head to aclfest.com. All this week, it's ACL giveaways. Only on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Jason Minix here. You know me. You know the Rue Pub is my go-to spot. No better place to go watch any big game, any big event than the Rue Pub there at 281 and Redland Road with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. And when you go into the Rue Pub, go hungry. The food is fantastic. I love the fried shrimp on the menu. They have the biggest and best wings in town. About 15 different burgers on the menu, including the original Wemby burger. And they have that new bison burger that is outstanding. Maybe you want a chicken sandwich, great appetizers, great salads, and that kitchen is open late every day with the full menu available. So when you need a late night meal, don't go to a drive-thru. Get into the Rue Pub there at 281 and Redland Road. They have all the beers you want and a full bar. The game room has the best darts area in town and indoor cornhole. Happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Rue Pub, 281 and Redland Road. We'll see you at the Rue.
John, what do you think about these tariffs? What do you think is going to happen? Well, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. The prices on used cars have suddenly come up because the cost has gone up. And at GimmeTheVin.com, we're paying more. Go to GimmeTheVin.com, put in your license plate, and see for yourself. We're paying more today than we were yesterday. Remember, the tariffs have raised the car prices, and we are paying extra. GimmeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer. Sell us your car.
Sell us your car. GimmeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
The Lion and Rose at the Dominion, your daily happy hour spot from 3 till 7 p.m. 250 drafts, wine, wells, and bites from just $5. Big screens, bold flavors, and a patio made for post-game hangs. Lion and Rose at 23330 West I-10.
Most people in radio commercials talk really fast. But we made this one for RV owners. Progressive knows they like the slower pace of RV life, like this commercial. And they know Progressive will protect their RV at a fair price with discounts. Now here comes the fast part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from IQ-Bar. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at eatiqbar.com/policy/terms of service.
Most protein bars are packed with sugar, carbs, and unpronounceable ingredients. There's a much better option. I'm Will, and I crafted IQ-Bar plant protein bars with clean, functional, delicious ingredients to empower doers like you with superior brain and body fuel.
Now you can get 20% off all IQ-Bar products plus free shipping when you text EAT to 64,000. That's EAT to 64,000.
If you need to hire, you know it takes time. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You simply pick a time and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day.
Try Zip Intro for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
The water coming in and out of your home is like laughter. Here in San Antonio in the Hill Country, it can be harsh. Now that's harsh. At the same time, those that know have a Kinetico quality water softener enjoy this. Smooth, soft, pure, clean water. The difference is astounding. Hard water, soft water. If you don't have a Kinetico water softener in your home, you're basically inviting destructive hard water to beat up your appliances, hot water heater, and every pipe in your home. And that's no laughing matter.
For a limited time, get a free reverse osmosis drinking station, $400 off with trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months. Call Kinetico of San Antonio in the Hill Country, 210-656-PURE.
Kinetico is simply the best water softener you can buy, and that's why we say it's the last water softener you'll ever own. Don't live with. Live with.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE. Kinetico.
License number 38961.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Just with Joe, though. No Jason today. He's got the day off. James Pledger's here, though, playing that good music. You're playing the good music. You're not singing the good music. Humming away, humming away. Yeah. Humming. Hey, ACL Festival qualifiers coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Remember the keyword. I don't know when I'm going to stop saying it, but it is kerfuffle.
I think you should stop now.
Kerfuffle. All right, we're having a kerfuffle.
You've had your shot now.
We're having a kerfuffle. Talking about this, the airport renaming to Greg Popovich. It was requested today, apparently at the city council meeting by District 8 Councilman Manny Pelez. He made a formal request to rename the airport after Greg Popovich. I don't oppose naming something after Greg Popovich, but the airport just doesn't make any sense to me. Does it make sense to you? I want to hear from you. 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Let's go back to the phone lines. Claymore's on line 2. He's got something to say about Pop. Claymore, welcome.
And thank you, guys. Thanks for taking my call. Listen, honestly, I could care less if they named the airport after Greg Popovich. My main issue is Sam. Sam, you need to do your homework if you're listening. What has Greg Popovich done, and who does he think he is? I don't know. Besides winning 5 championships, serving this great country as a military intelligence officer, lived and worked in Russia. You know, amongst many other things, a social activist who speaks out against social injustices. So what do you mean, what has Greg Popovich ever done? Distinguished graduate from the Air Force Academy. I'm speaking as a veteran. Forget sports. Okay? So, Sam, the next time you want to find out what has Greg Popovich ever done, hit up Google, my friend. Google is free. And do some research. Find out what Greg Popovich has done. And I'm not even a Spurs fan. I'm a diehard Mavericks fan. Thanks, guys, for taking my call.
You got it, Claymore. I know he's a diehard Mavericks fan, man. Claymore predicted the Mavericks were going to get the number 1 pick in the NBA lottery.
And he was right.
He was right. Thanks for the call, Claymore. Appreciate that. And, hey, we want to hear both sides of that thing. That was good. Yeah, the Sam call was not good. Sam, you can do better than that. Let's go back to the phone lines. We'll go to line 3. And Kenny, what do you think about naming the San Antonio International Airport the Greg Popovich International Airport? Kenny, you there?
Talk about everybody's overlooking the humility that George Popovich has. If you have not met him, you shouldn't judge him. A couple of years ago at my school, he came to take some pictures with our students. He donated some shoes for our students. and he stood and took a picture with every one of our students. And I just think I'm going to use a line that you've used before. I think naming this airport after him is the stupidest idea I've ever heard. If you're going to honor him something that is basketball related or the arena related, because at the end of the day, he does not want the focus on him. He always put his team before himself. He just happened to lead a team and be a great coach. But I mean, at the end of the day, if I was Greg Popovich, I would kind of be flattered, but then a little bit offended, because he's never been about himself. He's always put the Spurs before himself and the city of San Antonio before himself, from my experience.
Kenny, appreciate the phone call. Well said, my friend. The people they love Greg Popovich, and you know the political views you like or you don't like doesn't matter. What he did for this community and the San Antonio Spurs is undeniable. It's absolutely undeniable. So there was a request today from District 8 Councilman Manny Pelez to rename the airport after Greg Popovich. We're taking your phone calls at 656-3776. Let's get back to him. David, on line 1, what's your idea to honor Pop?
Hey, Joe, I went on, when you guys started talking about the airport thing, I went online and looked up Wikipedia. And San Antonio but number one, I don't think Pop would agree with naming the airport after him. And there's too much red tape involved in that. But we don't have an official city motto. So if the city wanted to honor Pop, I would think that they would declare San Antonio's new city motto as, I want some nasty. Thanks, Joe.
All right, thanks for the phone call, David. Appreciate that. Greg Popovich International Airport, what do you think about that idea? It was proposed today by a city council member, and we're wanting to know what you guys think about it. We're taking your phone call, 656-3776. Let's get back to it. Mark, on line 2, what do you think about the airport idea?
I don't like it personally. As Mr. Pledger pointed out, LaGuardia is named after, that famous mayor, so I get that. He kind of held New York together for a while. But the only other one I'm aware of is O'Hare, which is named after an early World War II American ace who shot down plenty of Japanese planes until he got shot down. I get that. I don't think Mr. Popovich would want to join that company. That's just my thought.
Well, I appreciate the thought, and I think you're right. I don't think Pop would want to do that, or I'm sure he was honored by the idea. But naming the airport after Greg Popovich, I just don't know if that's it just doesn't make sense to me for whatever reason. The airport, I mean, come on, something else, maybe a community center or. Again, the floor at the new arena, I would love to see that. Greg Popovich Court or something like that. There are a lot of other things that are more appropriate in my mind. But what do you think?
And just to Mark's point, there are other airports. George Bush is an international airport in Houston.
That.
You got Bergstrom in Austin.
But they're politicians and war heroes.
Dulles.
Which Greg Popovich, look, he did serve in the military proudly, and so if that's what you're thinking, I guess I don't know. To me, I think of Greg Popovich. Look, what he did in the military is fantastic, and all. But what I think about him is what he did for this community and for the San Antonio Spurs, and the long run that he had, and the 5 championship banners that are hanging from the rafters. It just seems to me. It should be more of a either basketball-related or community-related, and the airport to me is just not – I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. We'll head back to the phone lines at 656-3776. What do we got? Line 3, is that Josh? Josh, welcome to the Blitz.
What's going on, guys?
We're having a great time.
I know, I can tell. I think everyone is outrageous for saying it's not a genius idea. The thing about San Antonio is we have so much to offer, but we don't know how to market it, and you don't know how to sell. And so everyone thinks all we have is breakfast tacos and the river walk. And at the end of the day, the people who love me the most that I lived in Chicago 6 years got to learn about me and my passion about the Spurs, and they fell in love with the Spurs. And the thing is, there's one way in and one way out if you're not driving, and that's the airport. What this would do to sales, people would say, oh, go. I flew into the coach's airport. I want to go to a game. I want to go see the Spurs. I want to leave maybe a Spurs fan. It'll set the tone for teams who are coming into San Antonio to know they're coming to play in the King's house, where San Antonio was built around Greg Popovich. So I think he won't like it, but who cares? He doesn't like anything. He doesn't like anything. But what it would do for the Spurs sales, our marketing, our everything, I think it's kind of smart. I don't know. Y'all tell me.
I appreciate the phone call, Josh. Thanks for that. I don't know what it would do for the Spurs ticket sales or anything like that. I tend to think I'm not sure that it would do anything. Maybe it would. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I just think I don't know. I'd like to see him honored in some other way other than the international airport. We'll take one more call before we head to a break, and that would be you, Ricky, on line one. What do you think about this idea?
I think they should make it plain and simple. Go pop a mural outside the new Wemby Center and throw him a Popovich parade.
All right, my friend. I like the idea. Very nice. And like all your ideas, that's fantastic. The phone lines are still lighting up on this Greg Popovich idea to rename the airport after Greg Popovich. I would just really like to hear Pop's thoughts on this, and I hope we do at some point in time, because I don't know, just knowing Pop the way that I know him and being around him as much as I have been, I just don't know that he would like this idea. Maybe he would. I'd like to hear from him at some point in time, and I hope he speaks out on this idea, yay, nay, or whatever he wants to do. We got to get to a break, though. I am really late. If you're on the phone line, hang on. We'll let everybody get heard on this thing. The Greg Popovich request to rename the airport after Pop today. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Friday on the Morning Huddle. The Preakness is tomorrow. We're joined by an expert. Dick Girardi gets here at 8:45.
And were the Thunder able to finish off the Nuggies? We'll talk about that and the Eastern Conference playoffs. Plenty more to discuss. Morning Huddle, don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds, through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/radio, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Hey, San Antonio, multiple tours overseas, years of protecting the country, it all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training toward our low-cost degree and certificate programs. We call that credit where credit is due. For over 75 years, our dedicated success coaches have been helping service members achieve their goals. Get started with local support and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
The Gomez Law Firm has been San Antonio's trusted law firm for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us today. Jose, tell us about the cases you all specialize in.
We do ride-sharing cases, we do 18-wheeler cases, work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you or your family have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, you need to visit joegomezlaw.com. Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ, J-O-E-Q, to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Looking for a place with character, cold drinks, and real Texas charm? Pull up a chair at the Lion and Rose in the Dominion. This local favorite, run by the Tharp family, serves up Southern hospitality, military pride, and seriously good food. Happy hour daily from 3 till 7 p.m. with $2.50 drafts, select wine, wells, and mimosas. Plus, tasty bites from just $5. Big screens, bold flavors, and a patio made for post-game hangs. Now open at 23330 West I-10. The Lion and Rose.
Gentlemen, testosterone levels can start dropping in your 30s, leading to low energy, reduced libido, and slower metabolism. Rock's Discount Vitamins is making it easy to take back control. No appointments and no prescriptions. Just head into a Rock's and walk out with a natural solution tailored to you. Our powerful line of natural testosterone boosters can help increase energy, build muscle, rev up your metabolism, and reignite your drive. You'll feel the difference and fast. Visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God in South Texas.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See with the full details and disclaimer.
Boy, I tell you what, we have struck a nerve, I guess.
That's not who we are. Knock off the booing.
Both ways when it comes to this. We've got Greg Popovich defenders, Greg Popovich. I think haters is a little much, but
that sounded very hatey.
Well, maybe, yeah. We had one caller that apparently doesn't like Pop very much. Claymore, the voice of reason to me, comes on and clarifies things, and it's still going on our YouTube chat. I'm telling you, it's still going on there. If you have not been to our YouTube page, you need to go there. SA Sports Star. You can look that up. Please like and subscribe our YouTube page. We would appreciate that. You can get it on the action. There's always good conversation going on in the YouTube chat there, and it still is. And Ruben Garcia's in there. He said, I started a fight, and I simply wanted to know what you thought. I don't like the idea of renaming the airport after Greg Popovich, but that I'm not opposed to renaming something after Greg Popovich. I think he's earned it, and I think something should be done. Now, the airport, to me, it doesn't fit. But I want to know what you think, and we're taking your phone calls because there's a lot of people that want to chime in on this, and I want you to. Now, a lot of things happened at City Council today. They approved a funding mechanism for Project Marvel. We're going to talk to Matt Roy coming up here at the top of the hour with News 4 San Antonio and KABB. He covers this stuff, and he's going to let us know all the ins and outs of what's going on there. So he'll join us coming up at the top of the hour. John McClain will join us at 5:15, talk about the Houston Texans schedule that was released last night. But right now we're talking about Greg Popovich because District 8 Councilman Manny Pelez made a formal request today to rename the airport after Greg Popovich. And I don't like the idea. I've said that. It just doesn't make sense to me. It has nothing to do with Greg Popovich. Look, I'm a Pop fan. There are some things that Pop does I don't agree with, but I had the fortune to cover Greg Popovich and that Spurs team that was, well, just a dynasty. And so I was around him quite a bit. And look, he did a lot for this city and did a lot, not only basketball-wise, but in the community as well. He put his money where his mouth is in the community. And nobody can say he didn't do that because he absolutely did. But what we're talking about today is, do you like the idea of renaming the airport after Greg Popovich? 656-3776, 656-ESPN. What do you think? Well, let's go back to the phone lines. Devontae is on line 2. Devontae, what do you think about that idea?
For the most part, I say no. You know, it doesn't really have much to do with basketball, which most people know Pop as something dealing with basketball, so I say no. I suggest maybe name the road to the new stadium after Pop and then put a statue outside. Just at least if, you know, they have parties and stuff, you can say, hey, I'm going down on Pop Street to have a good time right before you go to the game.
You know,
so
I
think maybe that.
And before you leave, Devontae, we don't have statues, and we never have. And we've got some players that certainly deserve one. Tim, George Gervin, David Robinson, Manu, Tony Parker. The L.A. Lakers have statues all over the place. What do you think about the idea of statues?
I think statues are pretty good. You know, they said let the people know of who are some of the founding members or some of the greater people within the organization. So, yeah, like I'm a Ginobili fan. I love Ginobili. You know, I'm not a big Spurs fan, but I always watched the Spurs because I was a big Ginobili fan. So seeing a statue of him, getting to take a picture with him, you know, I might not meet him in person, but, hey, I could take a picture with him. It's basically the same thing. So for somebody like me, I think that'd be pretty cool.
I think it'd be pretty cool, too. Thanks for the phone call, Devontae. We appreciate it. 656-3776, 656-ESPN. We got Raymond on line 3. Says we need to do something normal. What is that, Raymond? What is normal?
Yeah, so Devontae, and first of all, you know, thanks, Joe and Pledge. Yeah, he kind of stole my thunder a little bit there, but yeah, like, so I was thinking, you know, what about the airport road? It's just called Airport Boulevard, like Greg Popovich Boulevard to be easy. Or a funny idea was anything north of 410 on 281 is Greg Popovich Highway. Anything south is still San Pedro.
All right, that's fair. Now, see, that to me makes much more sense, and even though that's not basketball related, but that makes more sense than the airport. I don't know. For me, it just doesn't compute. So I'd rather see it be something basketball related.
I think the negative side, Joe, too, is whether you believe in his politics or not, like, that could actually be hurtful to somebody that, say, doesn't agree with him and, like, I'm not flying into that airport. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it could be. Could be because he was very outspoken, that's for sure, about his political views.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's stupid, but that is, you know, a real possibility. Like, I think you're kind of playing with fire a little bit. But anyway, appreciate the call, guys.
Could be. We appreciate you. Thanks for that. Phone lines are open at 656-3776. Eddie, you're on line 1. Welcome to the Blitz.
What's up, Joe? Always enjoy listening to you guys. My reasoning is not that complicated, man. I say no, but the only reason I'm saying no is because if anything, is this entire city is gonna get named after anybody first. It's got to be Tim Duncan, man. My God, he put this city on the map and making us a dynasty. So if anyone goes first, it's got to be Timmy. And then after that, we'll see who's next.
Oh, well, let me ask you a question. You wouldn't want to name the airport Tim Duncan Airport, would you?
No. You could name like people are saying the floor, because the arena, again, it's got to have Tim Duncan's name somewhere. The street, the arena, statue, a court, whatever. But no, the airport is kind of silly in my opinion.
I totally agree with that. Thanks for the phone call. We appreciate that. We'll continue to talk about that. But I want to talk to a guy that's going to educate all of us, every one of us, when it comes to this, what happened today at City Council. And we'll ask Matt what he thinks about renaming the airport after Greg Popovich as well. Matt Roy is joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. He's with News 4 San Antonio and KABB, and Matt, first of all, thanks for taking the time. I appreciate you doing this. You got to educate us on what happened at City Council today.
Well, I'll do my best, Joe. I don't know. I don't know if anyone really knows exactly what's going on, but I'll do what I know at least. So far, what happened today was there was a vote at City Council to basically eliminate a project finance zone that was created in 2023 by that council to basically allocate state funds to the convention center and the Alamo Dome. What they did today was eliminated that project finance zone and created a new one and added in a new downtown Spurs arena. So that way, these state funds that they're going to start accruing in 2026 can go towards that project as well.
Okay, so that's a part of the financing package for this project, Marvel. But there's other aspects to it. Isn't there, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, this project finance zone helps a lot because over the next 30 years, it's going to bring in close to either $2 or $2.5 billion into San Antonio, and that money can only be used on now these 3 projects. So that money had to go somewhere. The Spurs obviously wanted this to be part of that funding model, even though the funding model isn't totally done yet. The other aspects of it are obviously going to be private equity, how much the franchise and the Holtz and all of their investors have to put into this. And then the other one that's being discussed is the county venue tax. The appealing thing about this project finance zone is that it does not have to be voted on. This is not something that goes to a ballot. This is something that the city council can do without input from the community. So that's huge. That's a huge hurdle that they don't have to clear with this project finance zone.
Well, I think it's fantastic, and we were talking earlier. We're visiting with Matt Roy from News 4 San Antonio and KABB. And Matt, we were talking earlier about the county process, which would require a vote. But you were telling me that's a very small amount of money that could come out of that portion of it.
Yeah, basically over the next 30 years, the county's venue tax, which is hotel, motel, rental cars, all of that stuff, will end up bringing in about $450-ish million to the county. And the Spurs want some of that to be used in financing this new arena, but Peter Sakai, the county judge, time again that the county has to protect their assets. And what is the assets for the county? The Freeman Coliseum and the AT&T, or the formerly AT&T Center, the Frost Bank Center. And over the next 30 years, they're going to have to renovate and refurbish and spend a lot of money doing that. So I think I was at the presentation, it was about $250 to $270 million over the next 30 years to keep those buildings up to date. So that leaves less than $200 million that can even be contributed to a Spurs arena. So if this thing really is $1.5 billion, then the county's only going to be kicking in less than $200 million of it, and they're going to have to come up with the rest some other way.
Okay, so it's got to be, and we're also talking about private money, private equity money, or whatever the case may be. Yeah. That's got to be pitched in as well, right?
Yeah, I mean the Spurs are going to have to put the money into it, and it's just we're just waiting to see exactly how much money they're going to have to put into it.
Well, I find that interesting, Matt, as we visit with Matt Roy from News 4 San Antonio and KABB, that none of these details have happened, and I'm assuming they haven't because are we waiting for the results of the runoff election coming up on June 7th?
A lot of this is being put together by Eric Walsh, who's the city manager, and by the Spurs and by the county. I mean, they have that memorandum of understanding, which basically says we all are trying to complete this same thing. These are our priorities. How can we make this happen? So he's the one that's leading the negotiation when it comes to the city portion of this. A new mayor, and new council members will have some effect. And of course, they're going to be the leaders of the city. But really, Eric Walsh is the one that's spearheading this and kind of leading the city into the future.
Well, that's interesting that you say that because I've been trying to get both candidates that are in the runoff for mayor, Rolando Pablos and Gina Ortiz-Jones, on the air. And in fact, Rolando's going to join us tomorrow here on the Blitz at 4:35. We've extended an invitation to Gina Ortiz-Jones as well, and haven't heard back from her just yet. So I'd like to get their thoughts on this because I know Gina has talked about some other things before Spurs Arena. And it seems to me what the city council did today is almost got in front of whatever they have to say. I mean, does it feel that way to you? It's kind of like, well, we're going to do this now, and then it really doesn't matter.
It seems both candidates have said that they're not, too keen on this whole Project Marvel aspect of it. But really, if Project Marvel actually comes to fruition, and in 10 years we have a refurbished Alamo Dome without a roof or a retractable roof, and all the things that happened in those images that came out a couple of months ago, it's going to come down to who was the mayor that came up with the idea, and it's going to be all in Ron Nirenberg. He's going to get the credit for this. So I could see why the council and why everyone's kind of still going through the process, even though there's going to be turnover, because this is really going to fall on Eric Walsh, and it's going to be Ron Nirenberg, who end up getting the credit for bringing the city into the future with Project Marvel.
Got you. Matt Roy with News 4 San Antonio and KABB. I have to ask you this before I let you go because, boy, it's really turned into quite the debate here on the Blitz this afternoon. District 8 Councilman Manny Pelez with that formal request today to rename the airport after Greg Popovich. I mean, is that a serious thing?
That I don't know, but I could understand why he would do that. He's an outgoing councilman who wants to make his mark as well, who just lost the run for mayor, even though he really thought he was going to win. That I'm not sure of, but I would love to see it. I would love to fly into SAT or even rename it the GPP, and fly in there from anywhere around the world. That'd be great.
Yeah, I think it doesn't compute with me, Matt. I'll be honest with you. I don't get it. I'd rather see him name something in the community or with the new arena, the Greg Popovich Court, something like that. That I don't know. That makes more sense to me.
With all of his international ties, I mean, with Tony and Manu and all the players he's brought in from overseas, there's a lot of them that have come through that airport. So.
Very true. Very true. Maybe it makes some sense to anybody. I don't see this going anywhere, to be honest with you. I'll be surprised if it does, but we'll wait and see what happens. Matt Roy with News 4 San Antonio and KABB. Dude, I know where to go when I need some info about what's happening with City Hall.
I'll tell you what I know whenever I know it, Joe. I appreciate you having me on.
I appreciate you very much. Matt Roy, of course, joining us, as every guest does, via the Buyers Barricades guest line. All guests appear that way, and, of course, Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com. Appreciate Matt Roy, and of course, it's been a big debate here. I tell you what, with this Greg Popovich thing, I need to take a break. I'm late, but before I do, because we can wrap this up and move on to something else as we get into the 5 o'clock hour, I want to go to the phone lines and let David have his say. David, what do you think about the Pop Airport thing?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, I'm David Charles. I'm an employee. I'm employed at HEB Pharmacy. I've been watching Pop, man, for a long time. I've been a resident of San Antonio for over 18 years. I'm originally from New Orleans, so I can't say much about the Pelicans, but I can say a whole lot about the Spurs. I mean, I feel like that guy deserves. He's legendary. And I think it should be something pertaining to sports that they name after, just like they do all the other guys. They put statues out of different arenas and centers. I think he deserves that just as much. I mean, that guy is legendary, man. I watch him. He really makes a team. I mean, he put a play. I've seen him take players that wasn't even known and put them out there and make something happen. He was just a team guy. He wasn't never individual. I mean, he had great players on his team, of course. They were legendary players, but he always was about team, man. I seen him walk off that court and leave them out there because he knew what they were capable of doing as a team. And that guy is legendary. I've never seen a coach like him. And I feel like his statue deserves to be put in front of an arena where everyone, millions of people, thousands of people can go to the game and say, hey, we're going to Pop Arena. We're going to see the game at Pop Arena. That sounds more pop to it.
I totally agree with that, my friend, and that's a great idea. I just thought you were calling and telling me my prescription was ready. I don't know.
Well, I'm at the warehouse, so we transfer to the warehouse, so from the store to the store. So whatever store you get your prescriptions from, you need to tell them to take care of that. H-E-B is pretty good at taking care of their customers.
That's
It's always
right.
customers first.
We love HEB.
Yeah.
Appreciate the phone call, my friend. Thank you so much. Appreciate everybody chiming in on the Greg Popovich airport idea. And again, to me, it just doesn't compute. Great honor, though, that, I'm sure Pop would feel that way, but it just does not compute. Yeah, I know. Get off my lawn. What are you talking about? Hey, when we come back, we're going to visit with the General, John McClain. We'll talk a little Houston Texans schedule release with him coming up. Cowboys schedule release came out last night, too, as did everybody else's. We'll talk a little bit about that. We got some NBA basketball to talk about, and we're going to qualify a person for those wristbands for the ACL Fest in the 5 o'clock hour. I just don't know when we're going to do that. And there was a keyword that was thrown out, and I hope you heard that, because you got to get pledged that if you want to be a qualifier.
Be careful. You're going to start a kerfuffle for these
I
tickets.
am. I think I already did, brother. I think there has been a kerfuffle over the last 45 minutes or so. But appreciate everybody chiming in, and thank you for that. And we'll wait and see what happens with the GPP International Airport. This is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star.
You're locked on the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Big cash giveaway, yeah. $250,000, yes. The next 10 months, GimmeTheVin.com is giving back. Everyone that sells us their car gets put in the drawing, and monthly we're pulling out $25,000 and giving it to you. So, not only are we the top of the market buyer, but you got a chance to win $25,000. That's what we mean by big cash giveaway. GiveMeTheVin.com. They don't call us America's best car buyer for nothing.
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
If you need to hire, you know it takes time. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You simply pick a time and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day.
Try Zip Intro for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
This Memorial Day, turn up the heat with the Home Depot. Find the perfect grill and patio set to keep the cookouts coming all season long. Grill up a feast with the Next Grill 4-burner gas grill, only $229. And complete your space with the stylish Glen Ridge Falls 7-piece dining set, now on special buy for just $499 with free delivery. Take your Memorial Day cookout to the next level all summer long with the Home Depot. See HomeDepot.com/delivery for more details.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ. That's JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
An accident can leave you struggling to pay for medical bills. At Thomas J. Henry, we believe you deserve justice no matter your financial situation. That's why you don't pay us unless we win your case. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. San Antonio, Texas.
The San Antonio Brahmas return to the Alamo Dome this Friday, May 16th for their Hats Off to Heroes game presented by Crisis Human Performance. Join the Brahmas in honoring our nation's heroes at this special military and first responders appreciation night. Fans are encouraged to wear yellow in support of service members as the team battles the Memphis Showboats. Plus, the first 2,000 fans receive a free Brahmas hat. Get tickets at UFLBrahmas.com. That's UFLBrahmas.com. Our town, our team, our herd.
The best day for great deals on everything for summer is one day, as in the Macy's One Day Sale. Find the best prices of the month on summer essentials, from men's tees from Champion and more for $12.99 to $500 off diamond studs, now just $199.99. Even 5-piece luggage sets for your next getaway, now $69.99. Less than a cab to the airport, and you can earn rewards faster during Star Money bonus days. It's a day unlike any other. The Macy's One Day Sale tomorrow. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
If you're looking to up your beer game, Karbach has you covered. From Hopadillo to Crawfordbach to Ziegenbach to their bestseller, the Love Street, there's something for everybody in the lineup, and you can find it anywhere. Next time you're out and about, ask your bartender to make it a Karbach.
The Lion and Rose at the Dominion, your daily happy hour spot from 3 till 7 p.m. 250 drafts, wine, wells, and bites from just $5. Big screens, bold flavors, and a patio made for post-game hangs. Lion and Rose at 23330 West I-10.
When you think of hot, you might think about the tragic time you ate too much wasabi. Or about getting into your car on a summer day when it feels more like stepping into a sauna. But heat can work in your favor, like during Verizon Red Hot Deal Days. Get hundreds of hot deals on all your favorites, like iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence, Apple Watch Series 10, and iPad, on any plan. Only until May 28th for new and existing customers. Offer available on My Plan. Only at Verizon.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
How about that Derek White fella, that former Spur? He led the Boston Celtics to a win last night to keep the Boston Celtics alive in their series with the Knicks. Game 6 set for tomorrow. It's a 3-2 setup. Timberwolves closed out the Warriors, punching their ticket to the West Finals. They await the winner of the Thunder Nuggets. You can catch that Game 6 tonight. OKC one win away. It all starts right here at 7 o'clock.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
And for the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Oh, it's 5:05 on this Thursday afternoon. If you're just getting off work, congratulations. You made it to Friday.
You made it.
See, I don't count Thursday night. If you're not working, you're just at home, you're out to eat or whatever you're doing, I mean, you're off. So that means Friday is here already. That's kind of the way I look at it, Pledge. It's a half full glass, right? Not half empty. You got to look at it that way. It's almost Friday. We just have a few more. You got a little longer than I do. You got a show tonight, Pledge?
I do got a show tonight.
All right. Well, so you got to work a little longer than I do.
I mean, that's always.
Well, of course, which is the way it should be. Absolutely. So, hey, we got a lot coming up in this 5 o'clock hour. We are going to be qualifying someone for those ACL wristbands, the festival wristbands 2025. You're going to qualify for that. It's the second weekend. That's what we're qualifying folks for. We're going to qualify a person today. We'll do one more tomorrow, and then at the end of the show tomorrow, we'll pick a winner for those gift cards. But look, if you qualify, you're a winner either way, because it just qualifying. It's how nice we are around here at 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You're going to get You're going to get a $50 gift card. It is free, by the way, to Mellow Mushroom at 1604 and Stone Oak Parkway. Fantastic place. Yeah, I love that place. They may have the best happy hour of anybody around. It really is incredible, and the food is good, too. So free $50 to spend at Mellow Mushroom right there at 1604 and Stone Oak Parkway. Look, if you don't want to take a chance on winning and you want to go anyway, all you have to do is go to aclfest.com and they will hook you up there. So, but sometime during this hour, I will say go to the phone lines. And if you know the keyword, then you can, you're the first one to do that. Pledge will write your name down and you'll be in the pot for those things. Not yet, though. It's not time. Not just yet. We'll do it here coming up in just a moment. Last night was NFL schedule release day. And the Dallas Cowboys, Houston Texans all did their thing. We'll talk about the Texans coming up in a moment with the General John McClain. Cowboys' schedule, to me, is tough. I think they've got a tough go at it. Fortunately for them, a lot of those tough games are at home. So I don't know if that's going to make a difference or not, but a lot of those games are at home. But they will kick off the season. We knew this already. They'll do that at Philadelphia against the Eagles on September 4th. Got some big games. Thanksgiving Day against the Chiefs. And I don't know if you had plans to go to that game. I hope you win the lottery between now and then, because it's going to take that, or you're going to take out a second mortgage on your house. The tickets, good tickets, if you're talking about, down there field level, about $2,000 a piece for that game on Thanksgiving Day. And even up in the upper deck, it'll cost you $700, $600, $700, $800 up there. So very pricey to go see the Cowboys take on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. By the way, it is Mahomes, which blows me away still. And I knew this the other day, but it blows me away, the fact that Patrick Mahomes has never played at Jerry World as a pro. I mean, it kind of blows me away. This will be his first time to play there as a professional quarterback. So that should be fun. The very next Thursday, they're going to take on the Lions in Detroit. That's December 4th. And the Cowboys get to play on Christmas Day as well. They're in Washington to take on the Commanders. So it's pretty good. And Stephen Jones talked today. And he was asked about the schedule coming up, and he agrees with me. He's happy a lot of those games are at home.
The plus side of that is they're at home, a lot of them, and I love it for our fans that we're going to get to see us compete. We got to play the games. The schedule is the schedule, and like I said, I'm glad a lot of those happen to be right here for our fans to enjoy those. And certainly we've got some challenges early going on the road. Quite a bit. 5 of our first 8 are on the road, but like you said, we've got a spicy schedule at the end. When you say, hey, what you compare to last year's playoff teams, we have a big run there, playing a lot of playoff teams. So we look forward to that, and Shotty's fired up about the schedule, and we're ready to go.
See, this is when everybody is hopeful, no matter what team you play for, even, I don't know, say the Tennessee Titans or the Cleveland Browns or the Carolina Panthers. Everybody's hopeful right now. You look at that schedule and say, hey, this is our year. We can do this. We can beat those guys. Not a problem. What Stephen was talking about there in little soundbite was after the Cowboys bye week on November 9th, that's the week they're off, this is what they come back to. They go to Las Vegas. Then they're back home for Philadelphia and Kansas City, on the road against Detroit. Minnesota comes in after that. The LA Chargers come in after that. Then they're at Washington. So that little stretch after their bye week is pretty dang tough. And it's hard to look at this schedule right now and say, well, this game, that game, or whatever, because I can go back to the September 21st game. They're at Chicago. Is there anybody out there that knows what the Chicago Bears are going to be? What their identity is? I don't. I have no clue, because they've got Ben Johnson, the former offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. They have improved dramatically. They had a hell of an offseason. They went out, they got aggressive, and you got to figure if Caleb Williams is going to be better, he'll be better this year. Their offensive line is improved. I don't know what the Chicago Bears are going to be like, and so I it's hard for me to pick that game. It's at Chicago, so I would think, I don't know, the Bears might have an advantage there. It's hard to say. The Arizona Cardinals, that's another team that I'm just not sure about. I don't know. Cowboys have them at Jerry World. The Denver Broncos, the Cowboys have to travel there. That's going to be difficult. I don't know what the Raiders are going to look like. What are the Raiders going to look like with Geno Smith at quarterback? And they've got a new offensive coordinator there and a new head coach. So I don't know what their identity is going to be. How are the Detroit Lions going to look with a change at both offensive and defensive coordinators? So it's kind of a mixed bag, and you can sit here and look just based on what they did last year, and it's like, wow, I just don't know. But it's going to be fun, and it all starts Thursday, September 4th. That's the kickoff game on NBC. The Cowboys at Philadelphia. Philly will get to celebrate their championship, hang their banner, and all of that kind of good stuff. And, well, that's how it goes. It's going to be fun, and the schedule release is great. By the way, OTAs are going to continue. The Cowboys start OTAs next week. Their first. Now, it's still voluntary. This is not a mandatory OTA, so Micah Parsons can or cannot show up. Stephen was asked about Micah Parsons and just how close that deal is.
You know, I don't comment on close or far away or any of that. Those things usually, you know, when the right pieces, you know, when the right things come together and everybody's ready to do a deal, then it happens. And certainly we want Micah here, and he knows we want him here, and I think ultimately we'll get something done.
I'll go ask Daddy. We'll ask him what he thinks. I couldn't resist. All right, we went over the Cowboys schedule. We'll go over the Texans schedule next, and we'll do that with an expert on Houston Texans. Not James Pledger, although he might be a semi-expert. We'll talk to the general, John McClain. He's got a few more years on Pledge, a little more experience than Pledge does. The general, John McClain, joins us next here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Hope you have golf plans this weekend. It's going to be a little hot, but so what? That's what we're used to that here in San Antonio. It doesn't make any difference. And if you haven't been out to the Golf Club of Texas lately, you haven't been out there. I want you, encourage you to get out there and see the improvements that they have made to this golf course. It is beautiful. Brand new golf cart paths everywhere. They've zero-scaped all over the place, and it's that pretty stuff. It just brightens up the golf course, not to mention the fact that brand new sod all over the place. It really looks like a country club. It's not, though. It is open to the public 7 days a week, and the people they've got out there working, it does treat you like royalty. They take care of you out there, whether it's in the pro shop or whether you're in the Tin Cup Bar and Grill. The service is outstanding. The food is outstanding in the Tin Cup Bar and Grill as well, and they can make you any kind of drink that you can think of. The beer is cold. I mean, it's just a fantastic place to go. I can't brag on this place enough. We played out there a couple of weeks ago, and it's just a phenomenal place. Get out there and see it. Make your tee times. All you have to do is go to golfclubtexas.com. That's golfclubtexas.com. It is the Golf Club of Texas, and you know exactly where it is. It's right there off Briggs Ranch Road, off Highway 90. Whether it's for dinner at the Tin Cup or around with your buddies, your next tournament, go check them out. Again, best rates always online at golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas is the friendliest golf course in Texas.
The Morning Huddle.
Kurt Miller, the GM of the Dallas Wings, which I don't know if naming your franchise after a feminine product is the best way to do it. I just always assumed it was like they were hoping to get
I don't think that they named themselves after a panty liner, man. I don't think that.
I thought they were trying to get that MaxiPad sponsorship.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Listen up, San Antonio. At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can get college credit for the stripes you've earned. Turn your military rank into college credit to save time and money on an online degree. Eligible enlisted service members and previously enlisted veterans may receive up to 12 credits for select undergraduate courses based on their rank, and up to 90 credits in total for prior learning, military experience, and training. Classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu/SATX.
The Peace Lily is so last year. Hey, has anyone worked with fiddlenecks?
Shelby's popular flower shop is in full bloom.
We just got a request for an arrangement that evokes air. Who's up for that challenge? No?
She needs to hire a floral designer to nip foliage faux pas in the bud.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Calling all snack MVPs, it's time to huddle up with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, the low-carb, high-protein snack with a flavor-packed crunch. From sea salt and cracked black pepper to hot honey, sweet barbecue, and more, these bold bites are ready to tackle your crunch time cravings. Find your flavor playbook at H-E-B and make every bite count, because when it's crunch time, there's only one snack you need on your team. Southern Recipe Small Batch.
Hi. My name's Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney and have been representing people injured in auto and commercial truck collisions right here in San Antonio, my hometown, since 1994. Getting into a collision can be a life-altering event. Your health and recovery is the only thing that really matters, and anyone that's ever been injured in a traffic collision will tell you that. How do you get the insurance company to pay? Simple. Call me. As your attorney, my job is to get you through this. The decisions you make immediately after a collision are the most important decisions you can make. If you call me as soon as you can after a collision, I will help you make the right decisions for you and your family. Remember, I do not charge for a consultation. Growing up on the southwest side of San Antonio, when Loop 410 was the edge of town, I know how overwhelming it could be to face a giant insurance company all on your own. Just keep it simple. Call me. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 900-0400. Or go to my website, alawyerforus.com.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See with the full details and disclaimer.
Most people in radio commercials talk really fast. But we made this one for RV owners. Progressive knows they like the slower pace of RV life, like this commercial. And they know Progressive will protect their RV at a fair price with discounts. Now here comes the fast part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
If you need to hire, you know it takes time. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You simply pick a time and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day.
Try Zip Intro for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
It's time to make your yard the best on the block with Memorial Day savings at the Home Depot. Start by keeping the weeds at bay with Earthgrow mulch, now 4 for $10. Then keep your garden thriving with Miracle Grow garden soil, now on special buy, 4 for $10. Give your neighbors yard envy all summer long with Memorial Day savings going on now at the Home Depot.
Do you disregard people's personal space? Sitting next to people in public, even if there are tons of open seats? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. There's still time. Come to Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale and get a queen mattress and adjustable base for just $399.99. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
This is Andrew Monaco, and the Aggies play here. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
We're back here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minix has the day off, but somebody that never takes a day off is joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line, the General, John McClain. John, how's your Thursday going?
My Thursday's going great, Joe. How's your Thursday going?
It is going fantastic. It's been a great day, John. It really has. It's been a fun show, and you're the cherry on top. Have you ever been a cherry on top before?
I don't know, but if I am, that sounds great to me. A lot of things have happened this week. The schedule, of course, the lottery in the NBA. When I'm looking up at the end and I'm thinking, Cooper Flagg can be in San Antonio or Dallas. As much as I'd hate to see the Spurs have a third consecutive Rookie of the Year, the fact is I'd rather have seen him playing with Wemby than I'd like to see him playing with the Mavs because I hate the Mavs. And I don't think a team that 1 year removed from the NBA Finals and making one of the dumbest trades in NBA history should be rewarded. Kind of reminded me when the first lottery, Patrick Ewing goes to the Knicks. Everybody said it was rigged. LeBron goes to Miami. The next year, Cleveland gets the first pick. Antonio Davis goes from New Orleans to the Lakers, and the Pelicans get the first overall pick. And the thing is, the NBA always wants to make sure the Lakers are a good, competitive, exciting team because they're the biggest draw in the league. And I don't care what the Knicks do, it's the Lakers. And it's amazing, isn't it? Through the years, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, Kobe Bryant, they get all those guys from other teams, LeBron James. Shaq just happened to end up in L.A.
It's hard to argue with that. I mean, everybody, this whole rigged thing just kind of gets me. The Mavericks didn't deserve it, John. They certainly didn't after the dumb trade that they made, but they got it. And Cooper Flagg, I don't know if he was holding his cards close to the vest or not, but he didn't sound overly thrilled that he was headed to the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, you noticed that too when they announced it. It's like when Wemby was announced and the Rockets didn't get him, he kind of did a fist pump, and people said, well, why didn't he like Houston and the Rockets? And I tried to tell him because he grew up loving the Spurs because of Tony Parker, his mentor. So he wanted to come to San Antonio because he knew what a great city it was and what a great coach they have. But this one, Cooper Flagg, he looked like he'd rather undergo a colonoscopy than go to the Mavs.
Yeah, there's no question. That's true. It's very true. It was telling. That's for sure. Let me ask you a question, John, before we dive into the Texans schedule. There was I think it was Mike Greenberg and even Adam Schefter, I think, talking about the NFL maybe going to a lottery system like that. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it'll never happen because last year, if the Giants had not won the last game, they would have had the first pick, and they won. And how often there's not a lot of first picks overall that have won Super Bowls. And there's a lot of first picks that go to bad teams, and they stay bad. And so I don't like the way the lottery is weighted. I think it's so unfair to some of those teams like Utah and Washington. I think they ought to get a bigger percentage. And I don't believe in conspiracy theories. If you wanted Cooper Flagg in a big market, you'd have him in Philly, Chicago. You would have had him in Washington. The Wizards. It's been longer for the Wizards, and they were the Washington Bullets, to go to the conference finals than any team in the NBA. And Washington is a big market. And if they'd have wanted to rig it, they'd have them to a big market like Washington or Philadelphia, not Dallas, where no matter what happens, they're never, ever going to be the number one sport.
No, there's no doubt about that, and there's just too much money involved. If they got caught, it would just be devastating. Visiting with John McClain. Houston Texans schedule dropped yesterday, and as we always do, John, we go through there and we think about the teams from last year, and a lot of these teams are going to look a lot different. But the Texans certainly, their first game is no easy one, having to travel up to Los Angeles to take on the Rams.
They play the first place schedule again. Last year, despite the offensive line being awful and affecting the way C.J. Stroud played, they still won the division with a 10-7 record, blew out the Chargers in the wild card like they did Cleveland the year before. And I went over that schedule, and I picked them to go 11-6. Four of the first six are on the road, starting, as you mentioned, with the Rams. And I think if you're going to play the toughest part of the schedule, you want it earlier when you should be healthier, and instead of playing it later. Now they have a stretch after the bye week where they play primetime game at Seattle. They have 2 weeks to prepare. Then they play 3 in a row at home, and they've got a 2 out of 3 near the end of the season when they play Baltimore and Kansas City. They can't beat either one of those teams. They haven't beaten the Ravens since 2014, and they haven't beaten them since Lamar Jackson was drafted. And They haven't beaten the Chiefs since 2019 at Arrowhead in regular season. So, but their closing schedule at the end, like the last 3 games, are not difficult. But fact is, they should win a terrible division again. And because right now, I think maybe Jacksonville or Indy, whichever one gets better play from the quarterback, it should be the Jaguars. They might win 7 or 8 games, but I think at the minimum, the Texans could win 10, maybe 11, which means they would win a 3rd consecutive division title.
Well, I'm with you, John. I went through the schedule. I have them 11-6 as well. I think that's. I mean, their division. They should rule that, and those games, just about all of them, should be wins. I love looking at this, and we were talking about it. You know, Pledge here, James Pledger is our resident Houston Texans fan, and he was bragging
Absolutely, I know, James.
He was bragging about the defense. He said this defense is going to be one of the best in in the NFL this year. Do you agree with that?
I think that they have a Super Bowl caliber defense. They have great pass rushers, and they have depth and talent at defensive tackle. They have an overload of linebackers. I was asked on a show this week who was the Texans' most underrated player based on the way he performed last season, because there was a national site that said Jalen Petrie, the safety, and I said he's only underrated to the writer that wrote that, not to anybody that watches the Texans. But I said Henry To'oTo'o, their second-year linebacker, who played so well, Christian Harris, when he got healthy, could not beat him out. And they have depth at linebacker, and trading for Gardner Johnson, and then drafting a safety and a corner and signing another veteran corner, Ronald Darby. They've got depth and talent in the secondary as well. So I think they have a Super Bowl caliber defense, but their offense, until they get a good offensive line, the offense is not going to be Super Bowl caliber. And with 5 new linemen, all of them are capable of starting, it's going to be, a mix and match. Once they start preseason, once they start the season, I'm sure we'll see some shuffling around, and injuries, of course, will take a toll as well.
Well, I tell you what, they're going to get a tough test at Los Angeles, game 1. That pass rush has been pretty good.
The pass rush of the Rams has been outstanding. I don't know of any team that's done a better job of drafting defensive linemen than the Rams have, especially the last 2 years when they had to make up for Aaron Donald retiring before they thought he would. And yes, they're going to be at SoFi Stadium, but, I think if you're going to go on the road for a first game, at least you get to play indoors. You're not going somewhere where it's hot as hell, and you'll be tested right off the bat. It was the Rams, Joe, who gave the Eagles their toughest game in the playoffs in Philadelphia. And I don't know if that was a sign of what they can achieve this year when they had a chance to run away with the division, although I saw today the 49ers schedule statistically is the easiest in the NFL since 2015. And the Texans will play the 49ers in Houston.
I saw that too, and that, is that, I guess, luck of the draw? I don't know what that is, but the 49ers should be back with that schedule that they're looking at. I got to ask you, as we visit with the General John McClain, have you purchased your Thanksgiving Day tickets to the Dallas Chiefs game, John?
No, but I believe this. One of the highlights of the year is being able to watch the Thanksgiving game, starting with Detroit being good again. And because before, you tried to eat early so you'd be ready at 3 o'clock for the Cowboys. Now we're going to have 3 good games. I think the Cowboys and the Eagles, right off the bat, will be one of the highest rated games in history. And the Chiefs-Cowboys game, now if the Cowboys are good, and by good, I'm talking about having a winning record at that point if Dak Prescott can stay healthy. And if they're good, they won't be great like the Eagles. Like the Chiefs, they can break that previous high for viewership, and maybe I'm not saying they'll set an all-time high, but because more people watch TV in the past, but they count the streaming services, and that might be one of the all-time highest viewed games. You know, you can't go wrong with the Cowboys. There was a story somewhere that Fox asked for fewer Cowboy games, and I'm like, I don't buy that at all.
I tell you what, the tickets to that are outrageous. I mean, they're averaging like $1,700 a ticket for that Chiefs-Cowboy game. It's unbelievable, John. I'll be home stuffing my face watching it on TV, that's for sure. The General, John McClain. John, I appreciate you joining us today.
Joe, it's always my pleasure. Thank you very much, and I look forward to talking to you next week.
We look forward to it as well. John McClain joining us via the Buyers Barricades guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com. The General, John McClain. Always love talking to him. You talk about a wealth of knowledge and experience and all of that stuff. It's just great to talk to him. He knows everything there is to know about everything, really. And he's a Texans expert, that's for sure. You know what time it is, Pledge? It's 5:34 right now, which means it's time to qualify somebody for those ACL wristbands. All you have to do is call Pledge at 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Give him the keyword. If you do that, you are a qualifier, and you're going to win a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. When we come back, we'll tell you what's going on this weekend. We'll do that for sure, and we'll talk a little NBA playoffs as well when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Friday on the Morning Huddle. The Preakness is tomorrow. We're joined by an expert. Dick Girardi gets here at 8:45.
And were the Thunder able to finish off the Nuggies? We'll talk about that and the Eastern Conference playoffs. Plenty more to discuss. Morning Huddle, don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Hi, I'm Jason Thompson. I'm a personal injury attorney, and since 1994, I've been helping people and their families seriously injured or killed by negligent drivers. My website is alawyer4us.com. I use that phrase because I know that there's no way a regular San Antonian can possibly beat a billion-dollar insurance company alone. You will need an experienced attorney to stand up for you and get what you and your family deserve. This month, my father will retire after 50 years of practicing law, doing what he taught me to do, help people in need. Stand up for the people that cannot. Use the skills you have to help the people in your community win and where you can. When an insured driver seriously injures someone, a billion-dollar insurance company uses everything it can to pay as little as possible. Every insurance company you have heard of has a very large staff of attorneys already working against you. If you or a family member has been seriously injured because of a negligent driver, call me, Jason Thompson, as soon as you can after a collision. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or check out my website, alawyer4us.com.
Have you been thinking about starting TRT? The time is now. You can visit any Synergenics or Low T center and get your consultation and test free. Don't let Low T slow you down this summer. Get the energy you need at Low T Center and Synergenics. Offer limited. Book now at fixmylowt.com.
Looking for a place with character, cold drinks, and real Texas charm? Pull up a chair at the Lion and Rose in the Dominion. This local favorite, run by the Tharp family, serves up Southern hospitality, military pride, and seriously good food. Happy hour daily from 3 till 7 p.m. with $2.50 drafts, select wine, wells, and mimosas. Plus, tasty bites from just $5. Big screens, bold flavors, and a patio made for post-game hangs. Now open at 23330 West I-10. The Lion and Rose.
Transform your water with Connecticut. For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station, $400 off with a trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Don't wait. The offer ends soon. Call Connecticut today.
Gentlemen, testosterone levels can start dropping in your 30s, leading to low energy, reduced libido, and slower metabolism. Rock's Discount Vitamins is making it easy to take back control. No appointments and no prescriptions. Just head into a Rock's and walk out with a natural solution tailored to you. Our powerful line of natural testosterone boosters can help increase energy, build muscle, rev up your metabolism, and reignite your drive. You'll feel the difference and fast. Visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God in South Texas.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See for full details and disclaimer.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-499-9102. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-499-9102. That's 800-499-9102. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is gearing up to send you to the Austin City Limits Music Festival. 9 stages, 2 weekends, and more big-time artists than at Texas Tailgates. October 3rd through the 5th, and again October 10th through the 12th in the live music capital of the world. We're talking Sabrina Carpenter, Hosier, Doja Cat, Luke Combs, The Strokes, John Summit, Doechii, Faith, and whole mess of other stars lighting up Zilker Park. Listen to the Morning Huddle and the Blitz this week for your chance to win a pair of 3-day wristbands to Weekend 2. We're picking one winner on each show this Friday, and every qualifier scores a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom at 1604 and Stone Oak Parkway. Cold drinks, hot pizza, and ACL wristbands. That's a Texas-sized jackpot. Want to lock in your tickets now? Head to aclfest.com. All this week, it's ACL giveaways. Only on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Here we go. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagle. Jason Minix has the day off, still celebrating with his daughter up in Phoenix as she graduated, walked the stage with her, I believe, second Masters.
Are we sure he's not at a Metallica concert for the 86th time?
Dude, who knows? Who knows what that guy does? That's cool. I actually talked to him today. He called me, and I'm going, what the hell are you calling me for? So, he missed me. It's obvious. I just wanted to hear your voice, Joe. I miss you. You know that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Like, tell me the truth about Dak Prescott.
Exactly. Sucks. No, he doesn't suck.
I love you, Dak.
He's not very good in the playoffs. That's for sure. He's not. But, it's always another year. I had to school some guys this morning at the gym because they were saying, well, Dak's playoff record, it's not. It's 2-3. I said, no. It's 2-5. Well, I'm looking at it right here. You got to scroll up a little bit. And, yeah, I was 2-5. So, it's all right. My buddy Ray, He was trying to take up for Dak.
Oh, Ray.
Yeah, Ray, he takes up for Dak. I don't know why. He's a big Buffalo Bill fan. What does he care what I think of Dak Prescott?
I mean, he's got his own quarterback with playoff failures to worry about.
Well, he does. But, and I have to take up for Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. They were just born at the wrong time. I mean, they were just born at the wrong time. These guys are great quarterbacks, but they got that Mahomes fella they got to deal with. And he's been pretty good. So I don't know. That's a problem.
Did we cut our other quarterbacks breaks during the Brady era?
I'm not cutting. Well, I guess not. But
so why are we cutting people breaks during the Mahomes era?
Didn't Mahomes lose to Brady?
He's 0-3 in the playoffs against Brady.
That's what I'm saying.
Lost in an AFC title game.
So you see that?
Lost in a Super Bowl.
He had to wait until the GOAT was gone. And now maybe Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson will be playing in their 50s. Please retire, Patrick.
And he lost the Super Bowl that Brady called.
That's it. So,
I mean, Brady can't even be in the building for him to win.
He's intimidated. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is intimidated. You say Tom Brady and goes,
stealing my lucky charm.
That's what
stealing
happens.
my lucky charms.
So I'm not going
for Rory.
Oh, Jordan Spieth, good gosh. 76 he shoots today, going for the career grand, so he's not even going to make the cut. Unbelievable. PGA Championship's going on, and I know a lot of you aren't really golf fans, but Pledge and I are, so we've been kind of watching this a little bit. And it's been a rough day. Rory's having a rough day.
The difficulty of that shot that Justin Thomas just pulled off.
1 foot in the creek, and he got it up there and missed the putt, but he had an opportunity. So, oh my goodness. NBA playoffs tonight. Only one game on the schedule tonight, and it's a big one. It is a must-win game for the Denver Nuggets. And at last check, Jamal Murray was questionable for tonight's game, some sort of illness. Now, I don't know what it is, but some sort of illness for Jamal Murray. And if he can't go, that's huge for Denver. It certainly gives OKC something less to worry about, that's for sure. And Denver has to win this thing. They have to send it back to OKC for a Game 7. And I'm in for a Game 7 in the series. It's been such a good series. So I'm telling Jamal Murray to suck it up. Get out there and play, be a hero, and get out there and get that done. So, but it should be a good game. I'm not sure what the spread is on that thing. I'm sure that Oklahoma City is favored, and if it's ruled that Jamal Murray is out of this game, then that's going to go up a little bit more. So if I like Denver, I might want to wait and see what happens.
I've got OKC minus 5.5.
OKC minus 5.5. Now, to me, I won money on Denver in Game 5, even though they lost the game. They covered the spread. They were 10-point dogs in that game, which was unbelievable. I couldn't believe they were that big of dogs in that game. So we'll see what happens. Right now, you got it at 5.5. I got it at 5. So, but no ruling yet on Jamal Murray, and that will come here pretty soon. So we'll wait and see what happens. A big game for the Denver Nuggets and Oklahoma City, because keep in mind, Minnesota is sitting there resting, waiting for the winner of this series.
If there's a player that can overcome Jamal Murray's absence and how big of a player he is, it's the Joker. Like, the Joker is one of the few people in the NBA where I'm like, as long as you have him, I think you got a chance.
Well, and you got to figure, Pledge, that the Joker is due for just a monster type of game, one of those put the Nuggets on his back type of game, because obviously he and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 1 and 2 in the MVP voting, and Shai had a hell of a game. In Game 5, he had a hell of a fourth quarter. He just said, "Get on my back, fellas, and I'll take you home," and he did. And it was just an outstanding performance by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So you got to wonder if Joker's got something like that in him tonight, and Denver's going to need him, especially if Jamal Murray is out of that thing. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to watch. I can't wait. 7:30 tip-off on that game. We're going to have it for you here. If you can't get around a television set, it will be here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It starts with a pregame at 7 o'clock. That comes in right after that little show called Extra Innings with Pledge. Yeah, that little show that happens. So that will happen coming up here in just a moment. We got a little more.
Got a question for you.
Sure, talk to me.
Because we're talking about the NBA playoffs, and they've been fun.
Yep.
And this Denver series is exciting. Is it just me with the excitement of what this offseason potentially means and just the uncertainty of the multitude of directions that the Spurs can go? I cannot wait for the season to end and the actual NBA offseason to begin. The draft, free agency, like all of that stuff.
I totally agree with you, and I hope for big things. Look, nothing against anybody that's in the draft, but I really want to see the Spurs make a splash, and I hope that they do. And it doesn't have to be Giannis. It doesn't. There was a report out earlier today that after Golden State lost that game, that they were going to go full board and try and somehow pry Giannis out of Milwaukee. But then there's another report today that says that's probably not going to happen. So I don't know what their draft capital, their money, and all that is.
And it's not just them. Think about the Rockets and whether they go after Giannis or Jaylen Brown or whoever it may be.
Could be.
And to me, even if the Spurs went after lesser, quote-unquote, lesser players like a Derek White or a Cam Johnson, like just anything to build out the roster in terms of pieces that it's missing. I'm
like
just,
that Derek White fella?
Yeah, that's
yeah, like him. Yeah,
that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
He hits a lot of threes.
He does. He's a pretty good shooter. He plays defense too. Man, I don't know what his contract status is. I will have that.
$30 million.
Is that what it is? But I mean, how many years?
Or left?
Yeah,
I can find that out for you.
Yeah,
real quick.
I don't know if that would require a trade or if he's.
Oh, it definitely requires a trade.
Okay, all right.
He just got this extension last year or the year before.
There is thought that the Celtics may kind of break up a little bit. Look, Jason Tatum's not going to play next year. I would be shocked if he plays next year.
Okay, so this year he is playing at $28 million. Next year, $30 million. $32.5 the year after that, and then he has a player option at $34.8 in 28-29.
Okay.
So you'd have 3 more years of control under Derek White.
Yeah, it would
at over $30 million per year.
It would be interesting. You know, I wonder what a former Spur would say that they should do. That might be interesting.
Should probably call and ask one, right?
Well, I already did. And he's going to join us tomorrow. Antonio Daniels, former San Antonio Spur, now broadcaster with the New Orleans Pelicans, is going to join us tomorrow at 5:15. We'll talk to him and hear his thoughts on what he thinks the Spurs should do. Are they doing the right thing by allowing this to go and just draft and rebuild that way, or should they make a splash? We'll talk to Antonio Daniels tomorrow at 5:15. Can't wait for that. We're also going to speak with one of the mayoral candidates. I'm hoping both of them, but Rolando Pablos has agreed to join us at 4:35. He's in the runoff with Gina Ortiz-Jones, and we have extended the invitation to Gina Ortiz-Jones and have not heard back to my knowledge. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, and if that is I just want to hear their thoughts on what they think of the new arena and what happened today. I mean, if you're running for mayor and you want to be a mayor, and they kind of pulled the rug out from under you a little bit today. So, and we'll ask their thoughts, but that's coming up as well. Of course, John Machota with The Athletic will join us too, as he always does on Friday. So it's going to be a good show. But what are you going to do this weekend? Well, let me tell you what's going on.
The Blitz wants you to know what's on tap. Presented by Sam's Burger Joint.
Sam's Burger Joint. One of the greatest places around. Love that place. And they got the Damn Quails there tonight. Tomorrow night, Nightbird. This will be awesome. A Fleetwood Mac and Stevie Nicks tribute tomorrow night. Saturday night, Eric Schwartz and Brandon Rogers will be at Sam's Burger Joint. And then Sunday, the Chris Cuevas Project will be there. They always have great music, and their venue for live music is just absolutely fantastic. You can go to samsburgerjoint.com and find out exactly what's going on. Other things happening tonight out of Green Hall. Josh Turner, This Country Music Thing Tour. That'll be good if you want to head out to Green Hall. Stable Hall at the Pearl tonight. Smells Like Nirvana, a Nirvana tribute. ACL Live. Nikki Glazier is there. Remember Nikki Glazier from the Tom Brady roast?
Oh,
thing?
yeah.
That she got famous after that roast, and she was very funny. So she's at ACL Live, and if you're going to see her, I'm sure you were on your way. Thanks for tuning in as you're driving up there to Austin. At the Tobin Center tonight, The Revolutionist. And at the LOL Comedy Club, Michael Pulasic is how I'm going to say that, or I hope that's close. Go to the LOL Comedy Club if you want to hear him. Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar on Friday night. The Medical Center location has Haywire. Green Hall Friday night. The Old 97s. Floors Country Store. Roger Krager. Stable Hall at the Pearl. Monkeys on a String. That is a Dave Matthews tribute band. At the Alamo Dome tomorrow night, a big one. San Antonio Brahmas taking on the Memphis Showboats. That should be a fun game out there. Always popular out at Pick's Bar, Passing Strangers are out there. And at Fitzgerald's Bar, you have Wheels of Steel, a tribute to Saxon with the Rage Judas Priest cover band. That sounds like a rock and roll fun time. Saturday night out of Green Hall, Robert Earl Keen says it's sold out, but it's never sold out. Floors Country Store, Dylan Wheeler is there. Stable Hall at the Pearl has Wild Party with Jackson Marshall and Tamachi, for lack of a better word. I don't know. That's what it looks like. The Majestic Theater, The Little Mermaid, is out there, presented by the Children's Ballet of San Antonio. Vibes Event Center has Murphy's Law. Rosedale Park, the Tejano Conjunto Festival 2025. That'll be a lot of fun. I love Tejano music. I really do. I like it a lot. Sunday out of Green Hall, again, Robert Earl Keen is out there. The Majestic Theater on Sunday has Ha Ash or Hash. One of the two. It's Hash. Yeah, there's a little thing there. Paper Tiger on Sunday. L.A. Witch. Freeman Coliseum, the Texas Bridal and Wedding Expo is going on out there.
You going to be there?
No, I've already got that all taken care of. And, I don't. My wife does. Maggie is taking care of that. Daughter's getting married November the 15th in Houston. So a lot of plans being made. Man, what a great show today. You guys brought it. You brought it, especially with the Greg Popovich Airport thing. Again, Antonio Daniels will join us tomorrow at 8:15. How about 5:15? Let's do that. Let's move a few hours back. 5:15. And Rolando Pablos, one of the candidates in the runoff for the mayor of this great city of San Antonio. And again, Gina Ortiz-Jones has been invited to join us as well. I hope she takes us up on it. And we'll visit with them. We'll talk a little mayoral stuff when it comes to the San Antonio Spurs and Project Marvel. But do not go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, because the great James Pledger is about to take over these airways. Extra Innings with Pledge coming up next. We'll see you tomorrow.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is